Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Blood on the Tamesis, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Oxfordshire, England 2012. With me tonight.
Philip playing Silas Shaw of Clan Bruyere.
Axe playing Velvet of Clan Ventry.
Lane playing Joanne Salt of Clan Toreador.
And Carlos playing Theodore Penn of Clan La Sombra.
So I'm going to hand straight over to our players to give a quick recap of what happened in Episode 1.
So we rejoin the coterie after 10 years, and they are given a task to clean up a masquerade breach. Upon succeeding at a cost and beating the police there, financial cost, it's revealed that the culprit is very likely to be Sally.
So a mortal was injured severely in the disagreement. Joanne and Silas took him back to the coterie's new swanky headquarters to try and help him out. Velvet and Theo tried to deal with the eyewitness. Silas discovered on getting back to the HQ that there was a mortal who'd been captured by the Watchman, taking pictures of the headquarters. And Theo then got from him what he knew and discovered that he was due to meet someone later that evening in the park.
So, Joanne gets a call telling her that Sally isn't going... Oh, yeah, she isn't going willingly after having a chat with Velvet and Theo. But Velvet and Theo persuade Sally to go to her holdup by playing to her superiority complex. Now, Theo goes to the meeting point while Silas stakes the scene out and Velvet goes to meet Adam. Theo finds the person dominating the mortal who flees, and Theo prepares to take a shot.
Okay.
I forgot English and how to read all of a sudden.
I mean, it happens to me quite often, so that's fine.
In the same moment.
He's busy rolling up your sleeves, right?
Yeah, he's gonna get messy, so I just playing the part.
Okay, so it is Wednesday the 11th of April 2012, and it is quite late in the evening because you've been racing around Oxford doing all kinds of things, persuading people not to talk to the police, rescuing people from the verge of death, trying to get in time for a late booty call. There's been lots to do.
Shooting people.
But as you said in the recap, we left Theodore in a park not very far away from your haven in Cumnor. And it is a night where there is a soft patter of drizzle, not really proper rain. So the ground squelches a little beneath your feet. But it's not like it's muddy. It's just things are damp. Everything's just a little bit damp. And Theodore had moved, despite the openness of the park, really quite far across that open space before the figure that he's hunting notices him. They immediately, of course, start to run, and as they do so, Theodore pulls out his gun, takes aim for this figure's knee, I believe.
Yes.
And then squeezes the trigger. So this is going to be a called shot. So as far as you can tell, this man is running like a normal person, i.e. he is not moving supernaturally quickly or doing anything else. He is on the run towards cover. He's very close to where there are some trees, but he has not yet reached them. So that means he does not have any cover at the moment. So normally he will be a static difficulty of 1. However, you're trying to shoot him in the knee to stop him getting much further. So that is going to up your difficulty to 3.
Blood Surge.
Okay. So can you just quickly, Theodore, remind us what your hunger and willpower levels are?
Well, my hunger right now is 1, and I still have 6 willpower.
Oh, well, you're fine, Alec.
And I do a blood surge for extra die.
Sure.
Oh, that's you said 3, right?
I did say difficulty 3, yeah.
Okay, I pay your 3 and I get an extra because that's 4 critical win, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Okay.
Minus the penalty, that's 6.
Okay.
Margin
So-
plus 3 damage with my gun.
Arguably, it's much easier than the last time you shot someone in the knee because there's no dogs in the way or people in the way.
Like Silas with a knife.
Yeah. So you take aim, you fire. There is a muffled sound because it's a silenced gun in the night. And then the sight of someone's kneecap seeming to explode from the other side of their knee as your shot goes through.
Walking. I just continue walking. What is Kevin's reaction?
Give me a second. Can you just give me your total? Obviously, the damage is going to be lessened because it's a smaller target you're going for, but you will incur the crippling injury. So, sorry, what was your total successes?
8.
So 8.
After the
difficulty. Yeah, gotcha.
Plus 3 of the weapon.
Yeah, that's fine. So, the gun goes off. You see the explosion of kneecap. You see the figure spin as they kind of lose control of their own momentum and fall down fairly heavily on the grass. Kevin, who a moment ago was just having a camera removed from his hands, was watching this figure run away in surprise, now goes, "Ah!" and begins to like try and shield his head and run in a just random direction of away.
Kevin, don't make me shoot you. Stop and come back.
Okay. So as you...
If it doesn't, I should him in the knee.
Okay. So you continue to walk towards this figure. Yeah. Are you walking or running?
No, I'm walking slightly faster. Like I'm not...
Okay. So you're walking with purpose, but you're not broken into a run. So essentially, they will attempt to get up. However, it seems like their leg is not working as it was. So they're not going to be able to do that without making a check. So they're going to try and get up and continue on the run towards cover. Let's see if they have any success.
I still have my gun out.
You still do?
Approaching.
So they do start to rise from the floor. They sort of scrabble. That they are not elegant. As you're getting closer, you can see they're wearing some kind of like long, quite expensive-looking outdoors coat. Yeah, they get to their feet and they start to try and run the last bit. What is Theodore's action?
The other knee.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, did you get hungry?
Yes, I did.
So a couple of things to mention, of course. One is that it's frustrating for Theodore that they have continued moving when you clearly indicated they should stop moving. But when you call upon the blood, you feel that extra surge of confidence, that extra surety of purpose, very, very strongly. And are you calling upon the blood again when you?
Yes.
Yes. And with it comes a certain sense of course I can do this. Yeah. So I should say it's the same again.
Okay, then I'll willpower it.
They're still out in the open, but you're doing a cooled shot, so it's the same difficulty.
5 successes.
Okay.
2.5. Actually, the reroll was amazing because it gave me 3 more successes.
There is a second muffled shot. Kevin just dives on the floor, face first, and covers his head and squeezes himself up into as small a ball as he possibly can and does not move.
I do not go hungry.
You're a bit closer, so you can appreciate it in a bit more detail now, as there is a second explosion of bone and flesh. This time, the figure just falls over. They don't, they try and scrabble with their hands, but they're not going very. You can easily catch them now.
Yeah, I guess when I get to them.
Yes.
Kevin, is this the one?
So, how close to them are you going?
They couldn't hit me with a katana in their hand.
Okay.
Maybe 4 feet.
Sure. So you stand about 4 feet away from them. So now that you're closer, you peg them as an adult male. You peg them, you would guess maybe early 30s, late 20s, something like that. They've got quite smart hair. That is, they were wearing some kind of hat or hood or something, but it's fallen off in the kerfuffle. But that hair has become dishevelled in the falling over several times in the drizzle. But you will see enough to know because they're kind of turning over to see what's going on because they're clearly not making any progress with just their arms. You see enough so you think they're wearing some kind of suit or something smart beneath the coat. Kevin will look up through his fingers in your direction and nods.
Pick up your camera. Probably fell while he was
Yeah.
running. Pick up your camera. I told you nothing would happen to you. And now, Mr.
So he looks at you, the man, and he says, "Go home." And as he holds your gaze, you feel the power is, but of course you get a chance to resist. Let me just see if he went. Oh no, he didn't.
Well, if you're looking for the compel.
No. I know the pool. Don't worry.
No. So that's. And I add fortitude, right?
You do add fortitude to resist this power.
I really don't want to go home. I'm gonna call upon the blood again.
You're going to rouse the blood. Okay.
Just to make.
Understood.
Social combat.
Well, it's more.
It's more resist the discipline.
That doesn't ring up.
Okay.
Oh. And I will willpower.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Oh, yeah. Take it.
So I initially had a messy critical, but on my reroll now I have a normal critical, so that's 5.
Yes.
6, 7, 8 successes. Critical win.
Well, that's very interesting.
Critical.
That's very interesting because that is exactly what he got.
Oh, shit.
So you
Succeed.
feel this.
I succeed.
You feel this
Go venture fortitude.
moment of. Oh, let me just see if he goes hungry.
Oh yes.
Non-venture.
I don't.
There is this moment where his eyes lock with yours, and you feel that a part of your body starting to almost turn to do what he's told you to do, but you know what this is, and you're not going to let this guy with no kneecaps tell you what to do. And you hold your ground, looming over him, and after a moment, the muscles in your body that are starting to try and turn relax, and you settle back into themselves. And that expression, which was quite intense and perhaps a touch smug, seems to become one of surprise.
Kevin, you are safe. Without taking my eyes from the guy. Needless to say, you have seen nothing tonight.
Nothing. I haven't seen anything.
And you will come tomorrow to my place, tomorrow evening, where I will have some token of appreciation. Please do show up. And I mentioned again the address that I read on his driver's license and the picture you had there. Just show up. You will be shown appreciation. You have nothing to fear now. You're dismissed.
He gets up and walks very much in the manner that Theodore was walking, but with slightly less dignity. Away from the scene. He exits the scene, walking at some pace. So there is clearly a kindred on the floor in front of you with no kneecaps, and now a fairly angry expression on his face.
I'm gonna drag you to my haven. You will not fight. You will not argue. You will not say a word. You will not try to escape.
They just look at you. Some of that smugness is starting to return to their face, but they don't say anything.
If you think I cannot make you feel terror, I call the darkness within me. I will make sure that you understand that being kindred only opens a new gamma of possibilities for pain.
So when you say you call the darkness within you, what do you mean precisely?
I use the shadows around me and my shadow to use Oblivion to shadow cast.
Ooh.
And have it underneath him. So he's laying on the ground. He's over my shadow.
There is a great deal of darkness here. And as Meliore has told you, not only is there darkness everywhere, but there is also darkness inside you. And some darkness is far more potent than others. And you call upon the shadows that are always present wherever you go. Those that, when you've looked at them yourself, when you've looked into yourself, have made you feel deeply disturbed. And now you give him a taste of that. But of course, unlike you, he's not experienced this before, as far as you know. You don't see a great change, but perhaps it gets just a little darker in the spot that he is in. And perhaps that smugness reduces slightly. That he does seem to take you more seriously as a result. Are you attempting to social combat this man?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Shadow cloak, shadow cast.
Excellent.
I am away from anyone that can say what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And trying to subdue this guy.
Sure. So, I'm going to give you an extra dice because you have blown out both of his kneecaps.
He's amenable to you.
No, he's not.
Okay. It
I hate
is.
this character. I know he's
I
not.
assume charisma plus intimidation, composure plus intimidation. Soul?
I think it's going to. Well,
I'm not lying. I will show him eternal pain.
I'll tell you what. I will let you run in this instance. Charisma. No, I'll let you run resolve. Actually, resolve, because what you're trying to say is I have the capacity to outlast you. So let's say we'll go resolve plus intimidation plus any other bonuses you have plus an extra die.
Plus rouse. I mean,
And you're also rousing the blood.
shadow cloak gives me dice. This is gonna be like a disgusting amount of dice.
So there is something kind of intoxicating about calling upon the blood.
How many? Only just hit my surgery pool.
Because he's giving me extra dice. Sorry.
There is something quite exhilarating and also, almost addictive about drawing on your blood in this way. Because everything's just that bit easier and the barriers just drop that little bit more quickly before you. And that is quite appealing in its own way. You do feel yourself imposing your will upon this person. It feels good. So, let us see what happens this time. Wait, you are. Oh. Okay.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I used one willpower for the second. Yeah. I used one willpower for the shot and one willpower for the resistance of the dominate. Yes. Just making sure I keep that. Stay with 8 successes.
8 successes. So he doesn't crumble entirely beneath you. In fact, he bares his fangs and seems to, from his sitting position on the ground, push himself up on his elbows with a snarl. Did Did you say 6?
8.
8. Okay, and you get a bonus damage, don't you, because of...
After superficial damage is halved, he takes an additional 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Because basically he's stepping on darkness of the abyss and this
So,
disgusting things are happening in his mind.
you feel like you are...
Don't go hungry.
You feel like you are imposing yourself upon him, but he does not break. And he says, with his fangs still bared, he says, "You're not the first to try and break me." And she didn't succeed either.
Don't worry. I have tools she doesn't. And I use Shadow Cloak.
Okay. So basically you remain in social combat.
I do.
And
Does he?
he does.
Oh.
He totally does.
Yeah, he would.
He totally does.
He really would.
He snarls at you derisively as you lock eyes with each
I
other.
didn't go hungry for the blood search.
Oh, actually, he's down.
Oh my god. This is less.
Wow.
So I'm gonna.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, I will, however. Better than the alternative of losing and getting.
Yeah.
Well, which is in total 7 successes.
Okay, so that's going to be... he got 4, so that's going to be 3...
Half branded up is 2 plus 2.
That's 4. Okay.
Does he remain in social combat?
No. He after a few moments makes a kind of grumble, and then his fangs suck back into their gums, and he says fine, and then looks down. As in, he breaks contact with you.
I grab him by the hair
Yeah.
and I start dragging him all the way home.
Now, the only thing to mention is, as far as I recall, Theodore is not the strongest of men.
No, that's why he's dragging him. I'm not trying to pick him up, I'm dragging him.
Nevertheless, it will take him quite a while to do it.
Yeah. But if anything he's been taught, when you start grabbing someone by the hair, they hold on to your hand and pull themselves with you.
Yeah,
he's effectively assisting me.
Well, he's assisting you insofar as he's holding onto your arm, so you've got a strong anchor. But because you shot out his kneecaps, he can't do much to help you scrabble, push along with his legs.
It's gonna take me a while. It's not a problem.
So you begin to drag him across the park, and that is where we will leave Theodore for a moment.
No, I think they will remain up for the time being.
All right. So, Joanne. Druty had come to see you, and she, because obviously I'm doing a few refreshers on descriptions for people. So she is an Asian woman who looks to be in her late teens. She is wearing glasses. She has long black hair and is quite fashionably dressed. She has a chain around her neck, which you know on the end of it, although it's tucked slightly in her shirt, is a lock, which is a gift that you have given her. And
That's so sweet.
she'll say, how are you?
It's been a day. I'm sure you've also experienced that with Sally and everything.
She nods. Just as a quick thought, whereabouts are you meeting her within the shared haven?
Just at the door.
At the front door? Okay. So you will see the drizzle of rain behind you. Looks like a quiet night out there. She says, Sally was very difficult, but it's been dealt with now. I actually came on official capacity, so I should get that out of the way.
Come in if you
Oh, thank you. So she'll come inside. Where are you taking her?
just to whatever, like living room or something. Just
Yep. You have quite a pleasant living room. But I say quite pleasant, that's a lie. You have an impeccably decorated, beautiful living room with designer furniture.
With hidden weapons.
You know,
Yeah, it was.
yeah, there probably is a couple of knives, like, attached to the underside of the table, should you need, you know, to stab someone immediately, that kind of thing.
It's useful.
There are a number of very comfy chairs. They all match. Everything is clean. Everything looks classy and expensive. And
all a bit garish for my taste, but take a seat wherever.
she actually looks like she's quite impressed. And she says, I do really like what you've done with the place.
That's all Velvet's choice. He only wanted the best of the best, and he was willing to put in the time and effort to get it.
I'm not surprised. So she will, you sit down together, and she says, I bring you a message on behalf of the Prince from the Herald. He's instructed me to tell you that the matter that you have asked them about is under consideration, and you'll be provided with an answer in 2 nights' time.
Okay, good.
Uh,
It's been a few years, and I've been trying my best, but they don't exactly make it clear what I can do.
I should, well, yes, they are sometimes a little hard to read, yes. I should also say in 2 nights' time, there is going to be an impromptu court held.
Oh?
And it's the Herald's wish that you meet with him before the courts to discuss this matter.
I see where this is going.
He was very clear that you should not be late, as he has a lot of business to attend to.
I see.
I'm sorry, but I have to provide the message precisely as given. She looks around. She says, how are they all treating you?
Quite well, actually. We've, dare say, gotten to know each other fairly well over the 10 years. The rest of this city hasn't exactly treated me well, aside from you, but I guess that's to be expected.
Well, in the spirit of treating you well, I think something is going on. They don't tell me, I'm not important enough, but I have a lot of work to do over the next 2 nights, and something is up. I'm just saying, be on your guard, and I suspect some of the ones in the city, the knights and the court officers, may be shorter of temper than usual.
Oh, that's a good sign.
She gives you a look as if to say, no, it isn't. She says, but on that note, I have to go and see some of them. So believe me, I'd rather stay here.
Yes, I hope they treat you all right for what it's worth. You're always welcome here, you know that.
Thank you. So she will bid you goodbye and she will head off. Is there anything else Joanne is doing immediately that evening?
Just aside from checking in on the patient?
Okay, who is currently stable. All right, so Velvet,
Yes.
you have hurried away
Yep.
to the secret love nest.
Silas has got stuff covered, right?
He's got it all in hand. What could go wrong?
He's a good guy.
It is fine.
I'm getting separate stronger than this.
Yep.
So you make your way to the secret love nest.
Yep.
When you arrive, Adam is there,
Oh, that's a relief.
waiting for you. Yes, it's not someone else random, no, it's him. So Adam is a black man in his late 20s, something that, of course, Velvet will know, but for our audience, he used to have very shortly cut hair, and he's let it grow a little bit over the 10 years, so it's starting to curl a little bit.
Okay.
And he is wearing a grey suit at the moment, though Velvet suspects not for long. When you're both inside
Yes.
and safe, he will take a necklace or something from around his neck, where there's a pendant which he will shift until it looks like a ring, which he will then slip onto his finger on his left hand, his ring finger, and then he will greet you with a kiss.
I will return this. I think I've got a similar ring which I wear on a chain ring.
Indeed.
So I'll do the same.
Yeah, because it's become
Practice.
it's become something of a ritual for you both, that when you are in private and it is safe, you put on the rings. So there is a moment, as there always is, of relief to see him. It does. There's always that worry when you're not together, and it feels good to be with him again, and you know that you can trust him, and he's a good person. You feel it upon seeing him.
That's ominous.
And he says, did anyone follow you?
I can't say I paid too much attention. What are you worried about?
I thought someone might have been following me on the way here.
From where did you come here from?
I came from the city. I was at a meeting. It went on longer than I wanted. But when it finally finished, I thought there was a car following me, but
Do you remember what it looked like? As I'm asking him this, making sure the curtains are drawn.
yeah. So you go and
I'm just going around the house making sure everything's locked while we're having this conversation.
sure. Yep. You make sure that the curtains are drawn.
Yeah.
Indeed, this place by now has been set up so that it's sunproofed.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Alright.
should you wish to stay here in the morning, you know.
Yeah.
He says, well, it was a dark car in terms of colour.
You didn't get a license plate?
No, I didn't. It was hard to see with the drizzle, and
Alright, it's alright.
I panicked a little bit, but they didn't follow me all the way here. It might just be my imagination, but there was. I only saw there was one person, only one driver in the car that I saw.
Did you recognise? I presume you didn't recognise him.
No, I didn't get a good look. They didn't get that close. It was just a couple of times I saw. It could just be a coincidence.
No, I don't think so. Do you know of anyone that might know about us, or that might be more interested in you than not? Or I guess.
Well, I can't think it. I've not told a soul.
No,
about
I know
this.
that. I know that, but
I would never tell anyone, and I don't.
there could be a different reason.
It could be.
I mean, your meeting, was it about anything contentious?
Well, all my meetings are about things that are contentious. I'm trying to get people to run their businesses more ethically.
All right, we'll take them.
There are lots of people that aren't fond of me, but I can't think why they would have me followed.
Who's not fond of you?
Would you like a list?
Yeah, I want a list.
You're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Well, nearly all of the... Fine. I can show you the cases that we're putting forward at the moment.
All right.
Nearly every CEO of every business that I'm trying to pressure doesn't like me. I'll send you a list. I don't mind.
What about Kindred?
Well,
Because mortals, that doesn't matter, right? We can deal with that. That's easily resolved.
well, the kindred that doesn't like me is Wallace. Sir Wallace. And you must know that.
Well, then I said it's about time I did something about that.
Well, he reaches out and puts a hand on your arm. What are you talking about?
Well, you don't need to worry about it.
But I will worry. I'm begging you, don't do something stupid.
I'm not going to do anything stupid.
Look, I love that you care, but we've got this far because we've been careful.
I'm not about to be reckless. But by the same token, nothing in this life is changing while he is still around here. And there is an awful lot worse that you can do to somebody when you're going to live for goddamn ever than just murdering them. Don't worry. I haven't set my mind to this before now. But now I will.
Well, whatever you decide to do, you know that if you want help, I don't bear him any love. And if it would free us, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
I'll let you know if there's anything you can do, but for now, you stay here, you stay safe. I'll deal with Wallace.
Not yet, though.
Not yet.
He smiles at you.
I've got a few thoughts in mind.
And at that point,
I'll drag him off.
there are no more thoughts. You drag yourself off. For some fun, can you also remind me what your hunger currently is?
Yeah, it's 2.
Good stuff. Are you slaking your hunger?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Are you endeavouring to slake enough hunger, i.e. to drink more from him than he drinks from you, or are you...
no, I don't think so. I wouldn't want to be reckless, right?
I suppose. But you suspect there are means at your disposal if you wanted to make him very keen.
Yes, that's true. I think. Yes, I think we'll pursue. Yeah, I'll pursue the means of making him keener in regards to this. Because it'll take his mind off this stressful evening.
It does indeed. In fact, it's one of the best nights that you've had for a long time, and Adam is ecstatic. And you are down to hunger 1.
Yay! See, everybody wins, right?
No.
And I should say that more than ever, of course, he doesn't want you to go. He's happy to cancel things and eke this out as long as he possibly can.
And we'll stay here this evening /
Yes.
morning. I'll stay here for the night.
Okay. So you stay there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in another part of town, in the south, there is Silas. Now, Silas, what was you've gone back to the scene of the original attack.
Yep.
In Sally's domain.
Yep.
And obviously the police and the ambulance have been there. What's your plan?
Just to watch.
So you're just going to watch the house. Where are you? How are you watching on foot? Are you watching from your car?
I'll watch in car.
So you're just going to park at the end of the street and watch to see if anything dramatic happens. Okay. So suffice to say, a relatively dull few hours pass. The ambulance doesn't stay for very long. The police stay a bit longer. They're obviously checking the crime scene and trying to figure stuff out for a bit. But it's not like there's a full-on team. It's not like a massive CSI moment. It's just there are police there. There is obviously some kind of inspection. They put up tape. And you will see them going to some of the neighbours, knocking on doors and that kind of thing. Is Silas intervening at any point, or is he just watching?
Just watching.
Nothing radical or dramatic happens. Before I come back to asking what you do next, I just need to see what happens with Theodore should it become relevant to the rest of Silas's evening. So, let me just make a quick roll. Because the thing is, there's going to come a point where you leave the darkness of the park.
Oh no, that's when I get to the edge of the darkness of the park.
Yes.
In the dark part.
Yeah.
I text Vance. No, whomever is in charge after Vance left.
Okay, now just as a point of order, your...
BlackBerry?
not that point of order. You can text them.
Okay.
But your people are hired specifically as security for your home.
You are absolutely right. I text Joanne.
Okay. So what are you texting Joanne?
Who's in the house? I found an intruder that needs addressing.
Just me? It's just me here. Silas is still out. I don't know where Velvet is.
Grab the keys to my car, pick me up, and such and such.
I can't drive.
No, you must know how to drive.
I can't drive.
10 years. Text to Silas. What are you doing?
Just keeping watch out.
Keeping watch where?
Where Other and I were instructed to. You need assistance? I'm bored.
No new developments?
Nope.
Pick me up and such and such.
On the way.
Okay, so you...
I take off my jacket.
Mhm.
Cover myself from the rain.
Okay.
And let the guy just get drenched.
So, whilst you are waiting on the edge of the dark park,
Look like a sweet old man shielding himself from the rain
it is late.
A corpse beside you.
with a kneeless corpse.
With a needless corpse, it is late. It is very unlikely that someone will happen by at this hour. Nevertheless, because it's going to take a while for Silas to arrive, there is a small chance. A quiet time passes, and eventually you hear the familiar sound of Silas's car. He pulls up. You won't immediately. You'll go to the address he told you. You won't immediately see him because you're still tucked away, kind of where it's not lit at all.
Yeah.
But you will see the lights of his car, and you will see him pull up.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so you will see the man as described, who is not currently saying anything, but just looking unhappy with his current life situation.
Open the trunk.
Yep. Alright. One.
I mean,
two.
I help him. Yeah.
Okay, between the two of you,
Otherwise, you notice that, like, because of the knees, like, I didn't want to get blood on the back
Check him in.
seat.
so it is worth noting that, of course, although he doesn't bleed as much as a normal person does, there is nevertheless blood and drag marks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you chuck him in the trunk.
That's the whole point. Put it in the trunk where there's like the
Yeah.
the plastic thingy instead of the
Yeah.
tapiceria.
It'll occur to Silas there was a time in your life where putting the plastic sheet on the trunk disturbed you. But
Yeah.
but it's sort of become more.
Just no one. Both knees this time?
Well, I mean, he was insistent,
Right.
but
Get in.
Okay, you jam him into the trunk, you slam it shut. He gives you one last baleful look before it
Yeah.
slams shut. All right, so seemingly you're going back to
in
that.
the car. It's like, remember Mr. Lawson, Eric, the person Vance and the others had found taking pictures outside the property.
Yeah.
That is the kindred. That
Kindred.
yes, that's why I went with both.
Right.
He used the powers of the blood. He compelled him to do so.
Okay, so
I busted both of his kneecaps, and now I'm taking him home for questioning.
it's a don't look him in the face. Right.
That's the one. Don't look him in the eye.
So blind. So as soon as we get out, blindfold and then chair nails.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere in the next few nights, but yeah, we said.
I mean, chill out anyway because he's trying to fuck with us and want to keep.
That's a good idea. Also, we should probably report it to Sir Holder. I don't recognize him. He's not from around here.
Yep.
So I want to understand why he was spying on us. Probably someone from Reading trying to make sure that the Southern Beam was not doing their job, or maybe trying to figure out. And then the theories, Maybe someone from Reading trying to figure out if the South is an accessible point. Maybe someone from the old days of the owner of the house. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone who hates Sir Holder.
So you will get this man back to your haven, and assumedly you will take him in. Where are you going to take him?
No, we should take him to Sir Holder.
So you're just going to drive straight to Sir Holder?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Okay.
It's easier. It's like, hey, we found this guy. We don't recognize him.
Okay. So you're not going to question him in the haven. You're going to just go to Sir Holder.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's better for questioning.
All right. So you drive back. It's getting obviously the night is wearing thin. It's not like the sun is coming up any minute, but it's getting,
From Sir Holder, which haven is closest? The HQ or Theo, or the one that is fronting at Theo's house right now?
So the haven is quite close to the centre of town, and your secondary haven, I'm trying to think of the location. Is it in the south?
Opposite. Like opposite direction.
Opposite side of the domain.
Opposite side of the domain.
Yeah. It's probably it's as easy to go to either, really.
Okay.
Given the time involved, it's not like you're going to be racing the sun or anything, unless something extended happens at Solder's. All right. So you go to Solder's place. You pull up. It's a little farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Second time in the night.
Second time in the night.
Like, oh.
Are you bringing him immediately, or are you going first?
No, I go first to see if massive beard guy.
Pietro, yeah.
Pietro. Depending on what he says, if she is not available,
Okay.
then I tell him that I have someone that
Okay.
for tomorrow and such. If she's available, then
He will tell you that she is currently dealing with another kindred matter. And
is that the kindred matter I dropped earlier tonight?
he says, he kind of goes, "Ugh."
Okay, we had someone spying on our domain. He's not a kindred of Oxfordshire. We don't recognize him. So let's call it an intruder. We'll keep it in our haven. And then we just drive home.
Okay.
And I tell Joanne to get me a steak ready and to make space next to Frank.
In the fridge.
In the fridge?
Yep. Oh yeah, that works.
Okay.
Don't matter.
Well, I text her.
Yeah.
With
Question mark?
Okay.
Nice. I like the BlackBerry. They have the little, and I mentioned it to Silas. It has the little keys that it's like a tiny keyboard, like from your typing machine. But it's what?
You from before typewriters, if I remember rightly? Or is that something?
Well, there probably were typewriters in the 1910s or 20s. I don't know when they were invented. The first one I saw was well after I enrolled. So
Probably not all of them. Okay.
but it has all the letters of the typewriter, and it does this little listen.
It's quite satisfying with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
I thought I wouldn't understand how it works, but it's super easy. Although this little ball here in the middle messes with me all the time.
I've just felt I've crushed one of those things accidentally. Especially nowadays, it's the only trouble I've found. I've gone through 3 phones. What is it so far? It's a pain in the backside.
A delicate touch, Silas. That's what you need. A delicate touch.
I'm not exactly built that way.
Well, it's okay. You can learn to be delicate.
Anyway, I'm trying to be more dexterous.
All right. One last thing as a point of order is that Vance you've sent home, and the rest of your security people
Are doing normal.
are doing normal security work, but both of you, that they are not in the know regarding the fact that you are vampires, or indeed, they're not warned that you're going to be randomly bringing in corpses or indeed weird bodies or things. Just as a heads up.
That's why he's in the trunk, and we go straight through the garage.
Yeah.
Lock the door. Yeah.
Okay.
Buenas tardes.
So, whilst Velvet is enjoying a very pleasant evening, the two of you
My phone's off.
finally race back to the shed haven. You open the. Is the first thing you're doing getting them out and dragging them off, or are you leaving them in the trunk? What's your?
I make sure that while he's like closing the garage and everything, I go and check if Joanne had any trouble making room in the fridge next to Frankie.
I assume not.
You can possibly. I mean, it's not going to be nice or pretty, but yes, you can jam another body in your large freezer. I mean, it is something you can do. It's not going to leave much room for your own supplies, however. It was already a bit.
It's only for one night.
Fine, let's see this. Whoever this is, then.
Okay. And I just grab one of the steaks and start working.
Are you going with him or yeah? Okay, so you go down with your steak to the trunk.
It's still closed.
Still closed. So you're ready to do some staking. You're following. What are you doing, Silas?
I am. Well, there is a blade resting against the trunk as I'm waiting for the garage all sealed off.
So the garage is fully shut and sealed.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for.
So these two come down. What are you doing?
Open the trunk.
You open the trunk. When you open the trunk, you find he has not moved. He's still where you left him.
Okay.
It's quite bloody on the sheet, but otherwise it's fine. Joanne, you recognise this man immediately, and the blood begins to roar in your ears as a mist threatens to descend upon you. Can you make a Fury Frenzy check, please?
So that's willpower plus humanity?
Yes, it's unspent willpower plus humanity.
Tell me how lot, please. One for every 3 full points of humanity.
Yeah, so it'll probably be 2 dice for you.
2 successes.
2 successes, you say. No, I don't think that's going to cut it. So,
Who's the Bruya now?
you see this man. You know this man.
I'm going to ride the wave.
Okay. Unfortunately, you have to ride the wave before you check.
You ride the wave
Yeah,
before you
okay.
check.
Yeah, so the idea is instead of rolling for frenzy, you just say, I'm going to ride the wave, and then you get a modicum of control.
No worries.
All right. So you open the boot, and as you open the boot, your probably attention, both of your attention, is on the guy in the trunk. So it's it's somewhat surprising when Joanne surges sort of past you, roaring, fangs out, and he goes, "What the?" And then she starts to attack.
Oh.
I step back slightly. Oh. In my mind is, now I know when he was spying us. Like, now I know who's his beef with.
Okay.
But I'm taking back. I used to take half a step back.
Although you're not riding the wave, whilst you are, I'm going to let you roll for yourself in this instance. So whilst you're in frenzy, because of our homebrew rule, you get your Bane severity as an additional die to all physical stats. He is currently packed in the boot of the car, so he can't do very much to fend you off, though he's going to try.
And he's kneeless.
And he is also kneeless.
And willpowerless.
And looking quite hungry, but that's fine. He's
What am I
good.
rolling then?
So, well, I
Say
think
dexterity, because I probably
No,
wouldn't have a knife with me
strength.
right
No.
now, so...
I think you are going to try and sink your fangs into his face.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're going to try and do. So it's going to be strength plus brawl plus 1 dice.
Plus pain severity and yourself.
Plus Bane severity, yeah. You don't need to worry about hunger die in this instance because the beast is doing its thing.
One success.
Well, that beat him. So, and I should say the difficulty is reduced because he can't move. Joanne surges past you and, opening her mouth surprisingly wide, fangs fully bared, just sinks them into the top of his skull. Doing him 2 aggravated
Flat
damage.
2 aggravated damage.
So he is obviously trying to fight. He's trying to hold her off. He's got his hands kind of on her shoulders. He's trying to push her back, but he hasn't been able to. He hasn't been strong enough to kind of fight her off yet at this time.
Now I step in because she's gonna kill him.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Between the two of us, probably grab her
Yeah.
on each side, on each arm, and just
Pull back.
bring her with us.
Okay, so you are going to try and
Grapple.
restrain her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she's not going to let you. She's going to fight you. She's going to desperately try and fight you. So
Let's do grapple, strength plus.
it's going to be strength plus brawl if you're grappling physically.
He gets 1 extra die from me.
All right, so you get an extra Silas from Theodore. Yeah, no, you can do an assist. That's fine.
My dex plus something, I assume?
No,
No, it's going to be strength in this case.
yeah, it's the beast. The beast is just.
Yeah, and Silas will do prowess.
Yep,
So manages. Whoa!
sure.
Yeah.
The power of the blood surges through you.
So you got that before, and then you're hungry from that. So it's a crap.
Those are
Yeah, because actually the prowess requires a route
Okay.
check
oh, okay.
beforehand.
Okay.
So
1.
Okay.
that is 5.
Okay.
5 successes and then 2 from the prowess. So.
Sure. All right, so you have got hold of Joanne.
That's going.
She can't escape your grip. However, now you seem to have got her attention because you're getting on her nerves. And unfortunately, the beast does not distinguish friend from foe.
Yep.
So whilst she cannot move, she cannot leave the spot where you are. You've got her in a very strong grip. She is trying to turn enough to bite you. And is snapping and... What are you going to try and do? You've got her for the moment. But
Yeah.
it's like you can do it. The power of your blood is strong in this regard.
Yep.
But it's not pleasant. She is screaming and snarling and snapping and throwing her body against, in different directions, just doing everything she can to try and break free.
I just go for the guy. Aren't you the trouble? The little bit of a trouble. And I drag him closer, like, now, hold still.
As you're all doing all of that, he replies to you, I don't think she's long for this place. You stake him. You don't have to roll in this case. He's physically impaired. He's got no kneecaps. He's stuck in a trunk. I mean, you stake him. I should say he's also got puncture wounds now in his skull.
I'm gonna ask her to lick later, but that's another thing.
So, you stake him.
Gonna happen, I know.
What are you doing about Joanne? She's still fighting you with everything she's got.
Got me holding.
Let me get another one. This will calm her down.
Oh, for God's sake.
I don't like it either.
Okay. You stake Joanne,
Sadly, yeah.
and
I
she goes still.
I am careful not to overstake her.
You don't
Silent.
overstake her.
I'm gonna go for the horrible blood bags because I need it.
So Joanne, you will take a couple of points of superficial.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go feed us some blood bags.
Yep.
What blood bags is Silas feeding from?
The
Fridge
one,
surgery.
yeah.
Okay. So you are aware that there are blood bags around. So you pick up a blood bag, and you drink from it. Tastes horrible.
Touching my shit.
Tastes disgusting. You don't understand how Joanne can drink this crap. This is like somebody put some cherry Coke without the fizz in a thing and then left it to go rancid. It's awful. It's not blood. To you, I mean, it tastes maybe vaguely of blood, but there's something wrong with it. It just, you reject it immediately. Disgusting.
I mean, that's what normal blood tastes like to me.
Unfortunately, stored blood, unless it's a very specific kind of stored blood, is impossible for you to drink.
Or you've got iron gullet.
Unless you've got an iron gullet. Gullet of iron! So,
Tomorrow we'll wake her up and...
Tomorrow I'll need a feed.
Oh,
I will probably need very much
it's okay.
to feed.
Well, we can... Yeah, we will stop there in the way to Sir Holdus.
Thank you.
all right. So, where are you all going to sleep? You've got maybe... Yes, you will go where you're put.
In her room.
You've got, so you put her in her room. You've got probably about an hour and a half before.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Oh, it's plenty of time to go wherever you want to go, but still, you want to start going there now. So,
Put her in her room.
yes.
You going back home or you're staying here?
I'll probably use if I stay here, it'll be quick to get to Joanne in the morning.
Yeah. Also, she's gonna need someone to remove the steak, and you're gonna need someone to help you while feeding. So it's better if you take the big guest room or your room.
Yeah, or I can just use a little thing in the workshop. But I'll get one.
Don't get crazy ideas, please. Didn't help me put this guy next to Frankie.
All right. So you pack the
Pack
what's left of this kindred in.
Denton. Okay, we pack Denton next to Frankie.
You put Denton next to Frankie,
This is starting to sound more and more.
and you seal him in the freezer.
Very mafia.
And are you all sleeping in the shared haven that night?
No, I'm going home.
So you're going home to see Miyuki.
I have an hour, so I'll probably do a very basic 15-minute breakfast. I don't have time for something fancy.
Sausage food!
Miyuki will say when you go back something along the lines of, "It is a great shame that you've come back so late, Ken-san, because I've been looking at different paint colours.
Oh.
But it will have to wait for another night."
It's okay, we can do it in the first thing tomorrow night.
Yes.
Breakfast, Greek yogurt, fruits, fresh fruits. I got you some strawberries. You like them?
I'll look at the strawberries and see.
You're already in trouble.
I am. I fix her a good breakfast with her.
You fix her the best breakfast you can in the time that you have,
15 minutes or 10.
and then you retire for the night.
Before I drop dead into the bed.
All right, so we are going to move to Thursday, the 12th of April. You, apart from Joanne, will all wake up and make a rouse check.
There you go, home.
Oh,
I do not.
I am still hunger 4.
That's bad.
Gosh, that's bad.
You wake, Velvet, feeling sated, comfortable, happy,
Had a great.
relaxed.
Yeah.
It is all good. Apart from Joanne, the rest of you will wake up. What are you intending to do? Just if you can all just give me a quick, what your immediate plans are. So let's start with Velvet briefly, because you're apart from the others at the moment.
I think I will check in with these guys and see if there's anything he's doing. But if there isn't anything he's doing, my plan is to go and visit Alex.
Okay. Are you going to the Haven to find that out, or are you calling?
I'll call Theo probably.
Okay, great.
That's futile.
So,
Yuki picks up.
yeah. So you, whilst you're getting ready, you'll hear the phone go. Yes, she's busy.
Yeah.
Miyuki-chan,
can you get that for me, please?
You hear the click, and then you hear her voice say, she says, "Mr. Penn's phone."
Oh, hey Miyuki.
Ah, Velvet. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am okay. The strawberries are passable.
What, you're kidding me? They're just passable? Man, I gotta do something about that. That's changing the...
Ah, you know good place to get strawberries.
I'm sure I can sort out anything you want in that regard.
I like you, Mr. Velvet.
I'm calling you because I was trying to get hold of Theodore.
He's here. He's just preparing himself for work.
All right.
Can I take a message?
I want to know if there's any update that I need from last night, because I had plans to go visit someone, but if I'm needed here, then it can wait.
So she will put a hand over the phone and relay that message to you.
Oh, we are almost needed at headquarters. Tell her I had to... Silas and I had to deal with Joanne. She might be feeling a little stiff this morning.
He says that you are needed and that he had to deal with Joanne and that she may be stiff this morning. So sorry about your friend,
What?
the one you want to visit.
Oh, well, it'll have to wait, but,
She sighs. Yes, I understand completely.
well, waiting for some things is just not acceptable.
Yes, you are right.
I am. I know. Life is better when you don't have to wait, I always find. But I'll meet him at the Haven and see whatever is going on with Joanne. In the meantime, I'll sort out getting some strawberries curried tea.
You are very kind.
Of course.
And you should come and join us for tea.
I would like that.
So assuming you're heading over, and you're heading over, and you're not doing anything, and Silas, what are you doing? Anything before they arrive?
Go to Joanne. Okay.
So you're going to de-stake Joanne.
Please take Joanne.
Okay.
And stand back.
So when the stake is removed, suddenly your body begins to work again. You can make a rouse check if you haven't already for waking up.
No.
So you don't dream when you're in torpor. You have a memory of that hated face. And you have a brief memory of how pleasurable it was to cause that hated face pain. And then something got in the way, and then everything was very frustrating, and you don't remember much else after that. But now, although the memories are strong, that all-encompassing rage has passed. And you're just as angry as you normally are. You will see,
Average angry.
standing at a respectful and also safe distance, is Silas.
Probably still holding the stake.
With a stake in his hand.
With a stake in his hand.
What the fuck? Why do you have that?
You went nuts, and unfortunately you had to temporarily put you down. Who the hell is that?
Who?
The guy you threw yourself at. The one who we brought back in the trunk?
All I know is I got a text from Theo. Something, and then I woke up here.
Well, you saw the guy's face, you went nuts. I've never seen you throw yourself at someone like that. I mean...
Do I look like I've got the physical strength to throw myself at someone, really?
I mean, you did. He's got bite marks on his face.
So does the guy in the surgery.
From your fangs.
No, you're not getting this. I saved that guy from Sally. Mine aren't in his face.
A different guy. It's alright.
Look, if you're just going to stake me, just do it.
I'm not going to stake you, just pull this thing out.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Possibly.
Sure probably ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be a hole in your clothes, roughly lined up with your heart.
I'll pocket the stake.
So who... You don't know who this person is?
Nope, but this guy apparently knows you and you know him. He's staked in freezer, so he's not going anywhere.
Okay, so
We're going to be taken into Saholder soon. He's not from around here, that's for sure. Damn sure.
I'm gonna go see.
So you head down.
How are you going to make your mind between them?
So you're going with her.
Yep.
All right.
I still don't really believe this has happened.
Sure. I mean, actually, as you're thinking about it, I mean, you do. It's the thing is, when you're in frenzy, it's a bit hazy, but you remember it. This does.
I don't believe it happened.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So you're heading down there. The two of you will arrive, if you like. You will be arriving around the time that she opens the fridge. So you won't necessarily be in the room, but should anything explode, you will probably hear it. Okay. In fact, the two of you will kind of meet coming in.
Hey, short of strawberries?
I am now.
You want me to help you out on that?
Yeah, probably got late, very late this morning.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on with Joanne?
That's the thing. We had to stake her.
What?
Yesterday's.
Oh, wait, did you start talking about manners again?
No.
Oh.
No, and I believe I'm still right for that conversation. Though, last night we had this intruder.
Oh, yeah, that guy. The guy with the photographs.
He had been sent. Someone had mesmerized him.
Right, yeah.
So I got that person.
Oh,
Silas
from
helped
the
me.
park, right, yeah.
Yeah, Silas helped me pick him up. Got him to the garage, and Joanne immediately lost herself to the beast.
Who was this guy?
I have no idea, but he has a very impressive kiss mark, skull bite. Joanne was not delicate in her assault.
Right. Well,
I just staked her and put her next to Frankie in the fridge.
so when I left the house yesterday, we had one person staked in the fridge, and now we have 3 people staked in the fridge.
Well, hopefully,
count
no. Joanne is in her bedroom, and hopefully Silas already took the stake out. Well, as we are walking,
Oh,
of
okay,
course, on
So-
the way to the.
yeah.
Around this point, you go into the surgery. The first thing you will notice is that your patient is still stable. As curious as you are about the fridge, I suspect Joanne would still automatically check. And they look like they are less deeply, I mean, they were out. They look like they are less deeply asleep now. So, you go to the fridge. You open the fridge, or freezer really. There are 2 bodies now staked inside. One is of this woman that you don't know, that you've been asked to look after, and the other is of Denton. Now this time when you see him, the difficulty is lowered on your Fury Frenzy check. Nevertheless,
Yeah.
when you see him, you have a lot of memories that flood back to you. You have memories of him assaulting you.
2?
Yeah, that's enough this time. You feel that upsurge of rage. You see the bite marks on his face, and you remember how satisfying it was to crack the bone of his skull with your teeth, and actually how good that would be to do again. He is the true definition of a monster in your mind. He is also entirely at your disposal. Your doctor's mind will note that his kneecaps look like they've been blown out. It will also note that he looks quite severely injured and weak.
Grab him, pull him out the freezer.
Okay, you pull him out of the freezer. He does not resist because he is staked.
Yeah.
And very stiff. He just kind of falls like a sort of lump, like a chunk onto the ground.
Joanne, who is he?
Move him over and put him on one of the operating tables.
Okay, you start dragging him. You also are not the strongest of people, I recall. Luckily, Denton is not the heaviest of people. Nevertheless, you drag him across the room. Getting him on the table is hard work, but assuming that you're just going to try and do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Silas.
Joanne, what are you doing?
What's it look like?
Looks like you're getting him on a table to do something. He's out. He's not going anywhere.
Sveta, you haven't got him on the table yet.
So what are you planning on doing to him?
How strong is your stomach?
What did this guy do to you?
He's the reason I'm here.
About this point, you two come in. So you will see Joanne, just that she's wrestling this very rigid body onto a table.
What's he doing out of the freezer?
I investigated this person on Joanne's behalf. Do I know who this is?
Yes, you probably recognize.
Do I know that?
Yes, you'll recognise him when you see him in the
Okay.
in the flesh. Yes.
I'm the only one who goes like, why did you take him out of the freezer?
You finally get him on the table.
I come round the other side of the table so that I'm facing you, and I go, stroke a lot.
You can call it that.
Actually, 2 strokes of a 9mm one here.
Hang on a second. Is that you pulling the steak out? So Joanne reaches for the steak.
And I just put the gun next to the guy's head.
Okay.
Just in case he tries to do something funny.
All right.
I'll say, oh, you
And
met
I'm going to grab a
Theodore.
large knife.
I'll look at his knees and go, oh, you met Theodore.
Okay. So you pull the steak free. It is actually quite hard to pull out because, of course, he's been in a freezer
It's frozen.
and it's frozen in place. So can you make a strength check?
You can't let
And
it
you can
go.
make athletics if you've got any.
1 success.
Okay, it's not instant, but after with a bit of sort of straining and wiggling, it finally slides free.
You're just watching this weedy ass surgeon go like.
Okay, he does not immediately react. Although you've pulled the steak out, he doesn't do anything. He just remains looking like a large frozen body.
We gotta wait for him to thaw out.
Yeah, that's why we put him in the freezer. Even if the steak is removed or it falls, they stay.
Question. How likely is your guy over there to wake up? Because,
He's stable now, and
but if he does wake up, this is a problem, right? Because this guy has no kneecaps and he's frozen. And I just, I'm not like so much into the rules, but I feel like it's a point
Should
worth
we-
mentioning.
well, one of you lot can deal with that, can't you?
Well,
Maybe we can get you some like little curtains like the ones you have.
Does he need to be on this table? Can we not put him in another room upstairs and you can do whatever you
I mean, the
want?
blood would get everywhere.
Well, at the moment it won't because he's frozen.
Yeah, that
Unless
is
you-
exactly my reflex. It's like, no,
Theodore,
he's frozen,
Plastic
and
sheet on the bed or something.
no, we're getting him to Sir Holder. He's an intruder.
Oh, he's not going to Sir
Yes.
Holder.
Oh, yes, he
No,
is.
he's not. You can take his head to Sir Holder after I'm done with it.
Since I arrived after the conversation, it's like, is there anything I have not been told about this man?
Yeah, there's a few things you haven't. I'm gonna guess you haven't been told based on your reaction. This guy is responsible for murdering Joanne.
you know that?
Yeah, because I started investigating him on her behalf.
Of course.
But it looks like there was no need because he's rocked up of his own accord. So, needless to say, she is understandably a bit teed off about it. Is that right? Is that
Put the gun away. I walk around. Suddenly, I forgot who I met last night in the park.
Like I said,
Silas, you said you needed help hunting. I think it's time for us to get out of the way. As far as I'm concerned, no one entered our domain last night. And I start walking.
Okay. I'll follow.
Okay.
On the way out, it's like, I've never heard Joanne's story, but I didn't know that that it was bad.
Yeah.
And it was her being killed by a kindred not of Oxfordshire. He's not a citizen. I don't care what happens to him.
I'm more
And we
concerned
owe
about-
that to Joanne.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about Joanne. She's
She's
was-
okay,
she was
she's with
tricky.
Velvet. Let's go hunt.
You want anyone hanging around, or you want me to leave too?
same question I asked Silas. How strong's your stomach?
Yeah, not that strong. I reckon I'm out of here if you don't need it. I just thought I'd offer.
Okay. So you two are going hunting. All right. So, and you're going
To visit Alex.
You're going to go visit Alex, who lives in a place called Bradbury Hill, which is it's a little way away, but it's not miles and miles away. And Joanne, actually no, we'll come to you in a minute. All right, so let's just quickly resolve the hunting first. How are you intending to hunt, Silas? You suspect Theodore may not help you with your usual methods.
I'm going to get the club. I'm going to bring my grab.
20, right? 20 something. Yeah, I look like 65.
He looks like a well-built, muscular, attractive, young 20-year-old.
I'm the grandpa.
But you may want to hunt in a different manner.
Probably Ali can.
You wanna? Alright.
Or something. Well, yeah. Something simple.
I haven't done that in long. I haven't done that.
Nah.
No.
Ali can, and then we'll have to feed for both.
So
Ali can and something else.
So essentially, you are going to try and catch someone unawares in your domain. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At some point, they'll all get a text saying, impromptu court tomorrow. I probably should have told you.
In this moment, I love Joanne.
I actually do not hold it against her because, I mean, with Benton there, it's like, well, she clearly hates him, but she remembered, and it was before tomorrow, so so we have one day of yeah.
Feed priority. Yeah, all that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do one alley cat and one sandman maybe for me.
Okay. So let us say then, you're just going to try and grab... Well, what's your approach, Silas, if you're leading this?
I mean, general approach would be to be silent because my alley-cat pool is crap.
You can go and seek... there are a couple... There's not many places, but you could try and... You know the haunts?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So do you have any persuasion, Theodore? 2. So you'll get an extra die from Theodore's assistance. You're hunting within your domain, which is good because firstly it's legal, and secondly your chassis will count towards the difficulty.
Chassis 3.
So you have a chassis of 3, so it's a difficulty of 4.
4. So, crossbow. That's the specialty.
And one die from Theodore.
So your looks will count in this instance. Are you choosing to use your presence?
Probably safe.
Probably all.
Yeah.
Which is...
Okay.
We have a lot of pretty boys in this coterie, don't we, Joanne?
50% hot.
All right. So give me a quick roll.
25% geriatric.
So much love.
Oh.
4 successes.
That's 6.
Oh, 6 successes.
Messy critical.
I think
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
4, 5, 6.
Can I just check, Silas? Where I'm assuming you're intending to feed not just a swift feed, but to feed
Over time.
over time. Where are you intending to? Are you going to take them somewhere? This wonderful, lucky recipient of your kiss.
It's going to be kind of back to Bagley for
Okay.
what would assume to be a
You're not taking
quite a
them
moment of passion.
Okay.
into a back alley.
All right. So where Theodore's assistance comes in is actually stopping anybody coming to the alley that you're feeding in because he's there for a while feeding. And what's your current hunger, Silas? 4. Okay. So you will go to hunger 1. But you hunt, you take them quickly, you smoothly. They're just like putty in your hands as you guide them. It's like they're all starry-eyed. And yeah, you take them away to an alley, you feed. They're there for a while, but you stop anyone heading that way and keep it all under control. And when it's done, you leave them there dazed, but still alive. They'll be fine. and you head out. All right, so
I trust his judgment.
you're now going to go off and try and break into someone's house to feed.
Yeah.
Okay, who is leading this hunt?
Me.
Okay, how much are you trying to feed for?
There's score tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, you will need to roll in.
Do you have any stealth?
Do you have any stealth, Silas? Do you have any larceny?
Nope.
No, because
Athletics?
you're a good boy.
I do have athletics.
Yeah, okay, I will let it apply, but I might change the difficulty slightly. So what's your athletics?
My athletics is 4.
Okay, so you could get an automatic success.
Would it being with checking up, would the stunt specialty apply?
No.
No.
Because if you try to make it into stunt,
He'll die.
I will just take out a knife and do that from above.
Okay,
And then break my hip.
okay.
So don't do it.
All the GMs around the table just went, no.
3 successes?
Was that including his success?
4 successes.
So you are able. Silas boosts you.
3, yeah.
Silas boosts you over the wall. You're able to go in. You will happen across somebody in your domain that you know there are some people obviously that work shift works and things, and they're already in bed asleep, and you are able to feed upon them, and then slip out.
And then for a while.
Okay,
Delicately over the course of a scene.
and done. So
Oh, I send a message to Velvet.
yes,
How are things with Joanne?
I take back. I don't know. I left.
but
Care for that cup of tea? Yuki invited you over. Like, I'm not going back to the domain.
yeah,
Or should we?
Probably should check it one.
I mean, are you texting me or should we?
Yes.
I'll say maybe in about whatever amount of time I think it's going to take me to do this trip and go back.
okay. So like maybe in a couple of hours, that kind of thing.
Or in a couple of hours I can come by for tea.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. So, since Velvet is very good in playing the whole thing, Theodore's mind is Velvet's at the headquarters, checking a couple of hours. I'll go there for tea. I'm going to my place. I tell Silas like, well, Velvet's taking care of Joanne. Okay. I'm going to my haven tonight, preparing for tomorrow's court. I might get in touch with my sire. Suggest you do the same.
Yeah, I need to do more planning for my
How's the training for the games going?
Yeah, it's been mostly writing, which is I'm getting better at.
Okay.
But yeah.
How's Jeffrey doing?
Yeah, he's doing well. We really want to bring this over to Oxford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I need to do more planning for my exit from mortal world.
I can still help you with that if you need to.
Yeah. What ways are open again?
What am I doing right now?
What would be your plan if you were in my shoes?
I assume that after we had hunted, we're walking the long walk far, so no one's like. So your family doesn't live around the area.
No, they live down south.
So something swift, nasty, any of those kinds of rapid demises that people don't expect. A plane crashing is ideal, but they don't happen so often. Not anymore. Gone are the days in which you could fade one of them a week, but
because can't go out like Joanne because that's too public. I need to be able to go around.
Also, she has the medical knowledge and expertise to go around and get coroner forensics and the morgue officially dead.
So certainly they'd know how Joanne faked her death, yeah?
Well,
they'll know what was in the news.
You were in the papers. Renowned doctor gets shot, killed, and this is also don't do anything with guns.
Yeah.
It attracts so much attention in this country.
Well, yeah. Why did I have a bow?
I feel like such a hypocrite.
I think, well, if you guys has a gun, I have the bow in there because I know I can't use guns, but
Yeah. But the actual how you fake your death is not the issue. It's how it's broken to your family, how they get it. Because if you say that you have a terminal illness, they will want to spend every waking hour with you. If you tell them that, if it's something, trying to break it into them softly and over a period of time is actually worse.
So
it has to be swift. You're going to do a stunt job in a volcano in Hawaii and falling in the volcano, something like that.
I mean, that'd take a bit to set up.
You just need a small independent crew. A ghoul and someone that after being given a little bit of money wouldn't be missed if you get rid of him. You also tie loose ends, which is the unsavory part. That's why I offered my help.
Yeah, I can only take you up on that because I think you've been saying you're on the way, organising your own way out, and that beard's impressive.
Thank you. I grew it before Embrace.
Yeah, because you knew what was happening. I did not. Eh?
I was lucky. I was lucky with my sire letting me take my time and prepare for my Embrace. But yeah, mine is easy. I'm the owner of a company, no longer the CEO. Miyuki is. Eventually, she will pass on the mantle. I am just majority stakeholder. At some point, an heir or something will inherit everything. People at the office barely see me, maybe once a week, tops. And that's not all staff. It's maybe one or two people. So, as time goes by, they'll see me less and less, and then they will be told that I died peacefully in my sleep or something like that. No long deaths, no hospitals, no nothing. And imagine being at the office and being told that someone that you barely knew, if at all, one of the senior representatives died peacefully in his sleep, accompanied by his family and his loved ones. It's a normal story of every day. It doesn't raise any suspicion, and it allows the other pen to move on, and I'll figure out another name. Maybe in another 30, 40 years I can come back with a pen name claiming to be Theodore's son. I have to check.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think on how to set that. Oh. I have a really long line of work on this.
So we're going to have to, because I feel like Joanna's had to wait a long time for this scene that she's desperate to do, which is why we're going to go to the break.
Okay, so taking advantage of the very handy talking steak. Shout outs. We're going to start this week's shout outs with Alicia. You rock. You're amazing. Check it out. Brand beautiful new La Sombra crest. It's actually sort of the same one but nega. So it's like a negative one and has the La Sombra crown. So thank you very much for Theodore's crest, Alicia.
Thank you very much. So, relationship map. So, this was actually much a bigger update than I imagined it was going to be.
It was huge.
It was huge. So, we added Kevin Lawson, the lovely Kevin, recently returning from the park.
Yeah.
We added Vance, Theo's retainer, and his relationship to Theo. We added Boris Mann, who was the eyewitness to the frenzy.
Oh, that Mr. White,
and Velvet dealt with. We added Pietro, Sir Holder's, I want to say doorman, but I feel like that's really insulting. The guy who...
Yeah, he's her servant, her ghoul.
Yeah. And then also we added a new connection type for touchstones. So there are a few touchstones on the map. So we have Victoria Campbell and Miyuki for Theodore. and then Freddy for Velvet. So you'll see if you look on the map now that they have like a purple dotted line to them. There's one incorrect one on there because Carlos and I thought we knew who Joanne's was, but
We
were wrong.
assumed.
So I'll change that. I'll change that. Then where they've come up in play, the conviction attached to that touchstone, we've added that to description.
So yeah, Victoria Campbell has been there, and it's known that she's a touchstone, but the conviction Theo has attached to her has not been displayed or used for shielding against stains, so nothing's there. But the one for Miyuki, disobedience is dishonor, which was the one.
Which is what we added.
It's the one that is added there. So as they show up in the stream, we will be letting you know not only which people are the touchstones, but also what is the conviction.
Yes.
What does the coterie think of them? Well, particular kindred thinks of them.
So we did that. We've added some new tags. So the touchstones now have tags, so you can filter by them. There's a new tag for La Sombra because we have them now, and in addition to that, there's another new tag for Fake Venture because we have them now. We updated the physical descriptions for Theodore and Joanne for 10 years on. And we've also updated for each of the coterie members their opinions of each other 10 years on. So you'll see we've kept the ones that were there before, and I've just put the new ones sort of in at the top. So they're in the line between each person and the coterie member.
And the connection.
Yes. And then lastly, shout out to the brilliant Kirsty, because we added artwork of Miyuki and some additional artwork that Kirsty did of Barnaby, which is on the website. So you can see that if you go there, as well as the artwork that Cedar did for Adam and Velvet. So that's on the website under ShrekNet files.
Ding ding.
Ding ding. And then also, just for myself, you guys know from what I was talking about last week, I'm going to shave my head. So I have 15 days of hair left. Looking at hats with more eagerly than ever. So thank you to Peter for putting that link up on the website, and also a massive thank you to Alicia for sponsoring me. That was really lovely of you, and that will go some considerable way to helping people. So thank you very much.
And finally, last but not least, a massive shout out to the newest tech ghoul, Kirsty.
Hey!
She's here watching us live, and she made the mistake of helping Mitch set some of the audio and video, and now she knows her stuff, and I trust her with my life, and we're counting on her for following episodes.
So
also, I believe you wanted to talk about finally coming live.
So I had a physical copy of Chicago by Night, sourcebook of Vampire the Masquerade, which is filled with an incredible amount of details, including another clan, which we won't talk about. But it also does include a little starter chronicle, which will last a few episodes for those who actually wanting to get into the game but have never ST game before or any sort. So it gives a start to initiate that. So that's what I might give it a go at some point. I don't know.
I played that its original version 20 years ago in a campaign that lasted for 10 actual years of real life.
Oh no, we just played for like a couple of months, and then the trimester was over, and then we moved on.
No, we played for a long time. We still revisit it sometimes.
So, because of... Oh, go on.
We are using from that book the homesteading rules and some things from a clan and stuff.
Yeah.
Random.
Could be any clan. Who could say?
Random
Who could
other
say?
stuff.
So,
Some dangerous stuff.
I'm aware that there's quite a lot probably of things that Joanne needs to do after the break. So, we'll go through questions fairly swiftly. Have you got any?
Okay, I'll keep to the quick questions.
Fab.
Ghost wants to know how old exactly Theo is.
110 years old.
And
110.
Izzy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wants to know what everyone's favourite superpower is.
Oh.
Wait, people or characters?
People.
Okay.
For mine, that's an easy one. That's the one I've thought about a lot. So mine personally is teleportation. I would be, I like the to be aired out, no problem. It's what I would definitely pick.
Phasing, like Shadow Cat.
Invisibility, probably?
It's a classic.
Supersonic flight to space.
No, but I mean teleport's better than flight, obviously, because it doesn't take you so long to get there.
Supersonic flight to space. I can survive vacuum.
Cool. Oh, telekinesis.
I think we'll probably just leave it at that.
So if you had questions, please do note them and bring them in next time. It's just there's certain things I want to get to today.
Yeah.
So,
Like a torture session.
and other
More
things.
popcorn.
All right. So, are you ready, Velvet? So, sorry, the ST is a troll tonight. So, so basically, you are heading off to Bradbury Hill,
Yep.
where you will arrive, assuming you're going to park up nearby.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks I'm dead, so I'm not like going around his house.
Yes, he does think you're dead,
gonna
and he would be quite shocked. He would be quite shocked to find that you are actually not dead in the sense he thinks. So, you're at quite a nice farm. You can see various fields that are that have been tilled. You can see a few places where he's got some sheep. You can see.
Happy. He's living the good life.
Yeah. Now, the thing that Velvet will know, because Velvet obviously wants to have a look in and see how he is, two things you'll know. One is that, obviously, he tends to get up very early.
Yes.
So he does go to bed
Yes.
early, which is in your favour. The second thing you will know is that he has a dog.
Oh, fucking dogs. I should have brought Silas.
That is great. So what's Velvet's approach?
Do I know this dog at all? I presume not, because I haven't seen it for like 10 years. Okay. So, a question from me: does presence work on dogs?
So
Dogs like me?
presence, generally speaking, is animalism that works on animals.
Oh yeah, of course.
animals
Yeah,
rather than that.
yeah, of course. Okay, well, I hope I avoid the dog, right?
So how are you intending to avoid the dog? The dog will be in the house.
You don't have a knife?
No, I don't have a knife.
You cannot silence it.
Are you just intending to creep? Are you just intending to creep up to the house and hope the dog doesn't notice? I'm just checking.
I want to try and look and see if I can see where the dog is as I'm approaching the house, so that I can avoid the side of the house that it's at, right? So I don't know if it's in the house or like in the garden or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do.
Okay.
if he's in bed, I'm going to need to get into the house.
Yeah.
And up the stairs. So,
Okay.
deja vu of my life.
It's strange. It does feel weirdly familiar, except this is a house you don't know or have a key to.
Yeah, exactly.
So give me let's say a resolve and awareness roll. Or no, or resolve and larceny, your choice.
It makes no difference.
Okay. So this is essentially to see.
Just resolve.
This is to see if you can locate from the outside where either he or the dog might be.
Okay. 2. No,
One.
is that a failure?
One success and a skull.
Okay.
Thanks.
You are able to ascertain that the dog is not outside. The dog is in the house somewhere. You suspect. It will occur to Velvet that he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Yep.
What, however, does Velvet want to do?
So is Alex's wife also likely to be in bed?
You will know that they both work the farm.
Okay, so this is likely to be okay. So, in which case, all the thoughts that come into my head are just not very.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a moment to think about it. Joanne,
You're going to have more than a moment to think about
you are in the surgery with Denton.
Yeah.
And also a nameless person who's currently asleep.
So
Oh no, did you move Denton to another room actually? No. So you're in the surgery.
he's still on the surgery table.
Okay, so what are you going to do?
So first off, I've learned a fair bit about Kindred and
Yes.
how they work in the time I'm here.
Yes.
So in order to avoid being dominated in any way, first I'm gonna sew up his eyes
Okay.
and then cut out his tongue.
You do both of those things. Sewing up his eye is actually harder again because he hasn't fully thawed out yet, but you manage it. Yeah. So you're pretty confident he can no longer either see or speak to you, and certainly not dominate you.
And then just wait until he comes around.
Okay, you begin waiting. You've been there a little while when you hear a knock to the door of the surgery.
So would I know that... No, I wouldn't know no one's here, would I?
Nope.
Excuse me.
Do I recognise the voice?
Yeah, it's Vance's voice.
Can I help you?
There's a gentleman here claiming he wants to see Mr. Penn. He was here last night.
Invite him in. Tell him to sit down. I'll text Theo and let him know.
Thank you. Get the way again.
Yep. So I'll text Theo. Your friend's here.
Kevin! And drive to the house. I forgot about Kevin.
Okay. So sorry.
Just gonna wait until he comes.
At some point, he will come around. He will make some vaguely incomprehensible noises.
Yep.
And is obviously vaguely distressed. Let me just make a quick...
If he even tries to, like, struggle around or
Wow.
move, I will literally just pin him to the table with a knife.
Okay. He seems to... When he starts to come around properly, he makes an angry noise and starts to thrash about. You will note that his wounds don't seem as bad as they were the night before. However, he is thrashing about, so you are going to pin him to the table. Actually, what's your dex and melee pool halved?
Assuming my specialty with knives comes in,
Yeah.
6 halves to 3.
Okay, you pin him to the table.
Yeah.
He thrashes about on the knife, making noises. You think he has lost control completely. He is, however... can you... Oh, how much... Oh, yes, sorry.
Do I think he's
Hang on a minute.
like frenzied or not? Or
Yes, you think he has. So what you do, you pin him to the table. He's not moving immediately, but he is sort of cutting into... He is basically injuring himself further in his attempts to free himself. And you think he will free himself shortly. What do you want to do?
oh, for God's sake, just stay down. I'm mistaking myself this time.
Okay, so you're going to go get a steak. You grab a steak, and as you're coming over with the steak, he throws himself kind of off the table. But as he does so, the wound of doing so, he just stops moving again and collapses on the floor.
The guy has gone to torpor by being staked, by being frozen, and because of damage.
It's like all the ways you can be out in cricket in one go.
Exactly.
And also now because of hunger.
Great.
So, what do you want to do with him?
Dumb shit, motherfucker, just stay down. Stake him again, put him back in the fridge and wait.
Okay. You put him back in the fridge.
I'll go and, I suppose, provide a presence for Kevin to be there so he's not just like alone in the living room, just like...
Okay. He sits there looking very nervous.
Don't worry, Theo's... What happened?
He says, I took some pictures that I it's all fine. I was supposed to come here. I'm not in any trouble. He said to come and everything would be fine.
If you were in trouble, you'd probably be in my surgery, so...
His eyes widen.
It's fine, it's fine.
I mean, I've come and obviously he's busy. Should I just go?
Oh no, it's fine.
I don't mind.
He's on his way back. You'll be fine.
So he stays there. So at some point, Theodore will come back.
Will Tyres be coming back around the same time as well?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, where did you... Oh, you from the hunt, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
from the hunt. So I imagine that I got the message.
So what are you doing with Kevin, Theodore?
When I arrive, well, my apologies, Kevin.
Your friend?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kevin is the fellow who helped me get the actual person who was trying to spy on us last night.
It's appreciated, thank you.
Do you want a drink?
I
Scotch, man.
well,
Scotch. Come.
he'll go with you.
And I take him, pour him a drink, pour one for myself on the rocks, and start saying. So, needless to say, last night was odd. Am I correct?
Yes.
It's not something that you see every night. It's not something. Is your camera okay? Did any damage befall your camera?
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's absolutely fine.
Are you local
Yes.
to Oxfordshire? Yeah.
Yes.
And what is it that you do? Are you a journalist?
No, I'm a wedding photographer.
You're a wedding photographer.
Yes.
Okay. Can I have your card?
Yes. He will give you a card.
Grab it. Then I go and fetch him one of the good bottles that Velvet has, unopened.
Yeah.
One of the new ones. Not the super fancy ones,
No.
But still a good one.
but a good one. Here you go.
So thank you. See the water trembling slightly in the bottle in his hands.
You're not to blame for anything. I wish I could tell you anything.
It's fine. I don't need to know anything. This is very kind of you.
And I don't need you to tell anyone what has happened.
No. I won't say a word. Can I go?
If you ever have any trouble of any kind that you cannot shake, that you cannot take to the police, you come here and you ask for me.
He nods very slowly. You think he understands?
You'll help me. You're helping me take care of my own. You're helping me take care of my place. I will do anything to help you. As long as it's within my means.
Thank you.
Also, I might know a person or two that could use your services.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You're clearly nervous. You don't need to. On you go.
He goes.
And I never drink.
Okay. So,
Smells good.
just coming back to you briefly, Velvet, what's your plan regarding this farm? Farm infiltration.
I hate farms
Farm
and any
filtration.
kind of physical activity of any kind. I can't do this, so instead I will leave because I have a better way of doing this, which will involve over the long term planting cameras in their house so that I can see them without. I can't do that today, right? It's like
Yeah.
a day job.
You leave thinking of more creepy ways to solve this problem.
Right.
And there's a sense of satisfaction that comes with that. Okay, so there is obviously a court coming.
Yeah.
Are there any things people are planning to do
At the court.
between this night and the next
Tomorrow.
night?
Yes, I'm going for tea at Theodore's.
Yeah, I'm going for tea.
I've got a lot of things to talk to him about.
But
Okay.
I do try to get in touch with Isabel.
Also,
Okay.
Simple message
Yes.
to her household or anyone who takes it.
Yes.
Anything important, anything that I should know for tomorrow.
She will reply to your message that before the court there is to be a meeting of the clan. She will give you an address and a time.
I don't contact my sire.
Everybody included? As in, is it the clan or is it
Clan.
the clan?
You think it's the clan?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
The bigger clan, yes.
The bigger, the clan.
Your sire, however, will contact you to tell you that it's court, that has been arranged at short notice, that there is a meeting of the family beforehand and that you need to bring Seth to that meeting. Make sure he is not late. Make sure he is presentable.
Okay, I buff Adam.
You buff Adam.
Yeah. I mean, like, but last night,
Yeah.
when I was sleeping with him, that's the thing that because I can make him appear more,
Oh, I see. Yes, no, I see what you mean now.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
But I guess I'll have to sort out something with Seth.
Sure.
I'm angry about this.
Excellent. And Silas.
I'll check in with Finn. See if there's any updates.
He will tell you there is an impromptu court.
Yeah.
And there is a very, very important family meeting.
Of course.
It's a big day for Clan Brugge, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
And he'll give you an address.
I'm just making sure the patient's fine.
And you make sure the patient's fine. So,
Spend the evening working on my little side project in the garage.
so you're going to be in the garage. Are you staying at the Haven that night, or are you going back to the flat? Okay. So let's just cover a couple of things quickly on that night. One is that Miyuki will have some tea with Velvet.
Yeah, probably.
There's a couple of things I need to raise with you.
Okay, so we'll do that conversation in a moment. But that Miyuki, whilst you're waiting for Velvet to arrive, will show you various different colour schemes, and we'll be discussing rooms and
I bring
things.
strawberries.
You bring some very expensive strawberries. And it's fair to say Miyuki will appreciate it, and we'll talk about needing to put them somewhere safe or something, and we'll disappear with them fairly rapidly after they arrive. Joanne, you're staying with the patient. Let me come to you, then we'll do the conversation, and then I'll come to Silas. And then we'll get to jolly court business. So, the patient wakes up. He looks very out of it. But he is conscious. And he'll blink a little bit.
You were very, very heavily injured. Rest.
Is this a hospital?
Private hospital, yes.
Oh, how long have I been out?
3-4 days.
He says, "Oh my God, I need to get to a phone.
Yeah,
I need to."
rest.
He
It's
doesn't
fine.
quite go out. Really.
Yeah. I'll deal with. Just tell me who you need to contact. I'll deal with it.
All right.
You need your rest.
Yeah. Am I going to be okay, Doctor?
You'll be fine.
I think I was attacked.
Yes.
I think he bit me.
There's been a increasing drug problem recently. People go into strange frenzies, and we just need to make sure you're okay first.
Do you think I'll be infected?
No.
Okay. He dozes off again.
Yep.
Okay.
Make sure to, again, text Theo saying, patient has woken up.
Okay, then.
I don't know how to handle this.
As usual.
Step aside, I can handle this.
You think they're not going to be very with it today, though. So you two have a bit of privacy
Okay.
whilst Miyuki is putting away the strawberries. What do you want to talk about? I mean, I can't help you with that. So what do you want to talk about?
It's useful to get you on your own. I had a couple of things I wanted to ask you.
Absolutely. I have plenty of questions myself. Which color?
What? Which color?
We're moving, and apparently she wants to paint the kitchen.
Oh, well, that all depends on what your central color scheme is going to be. It's not,
Let's wait for
can't just,
Miyuki. You want to?
I wanted to ask your advice about a couple things.
You sure?
First of all, say I thought that someone was following me, but I had no idea how to go about determining if that was a fact or not. What's the best way to do it?
depends.
Person in a car. I think, but I'm not sure.
Let's say,
I don't got a number plate.
let's say you were indeed being followed. Easiest way to figure it out is to. Well, what do you want to do? You want to figure out who is following you, or you
Or
want
if
to get
somebody,
them get
I
lost?
don't know. It might not be that. It's just I want to figure out if it's happening.
Change your routine.
All right.
If you go from point A to point B using the same route, change it every day. If you tend to go to point B on Tuesdays, change the day you go.
All right.
Start making your routine controllable, but not predictable. If you are to meet with other people, convene in other places. If you cannot convene in other places, let's say because you have to visit someone in a hospital and you must go there, start stretching the realm of the possible. Go at the earliest or latest possible time as to throw away your pursuer. There are many people that do shadowing but just mingling with the crowd. So walk in desolated areas. It's not like you are without the tools. You're fairly well equipped to deal with anyone who might try to mug you, but then you can see anyone trying to shadow you for miles. Alternatively, I could shadow you for a couple of nights and take care of anyone who's following you.
All right.
If, hypothetically, this were you.
Right. Obviously. What that's useful to know. Thank you. I'll let you know. But I have another thing, and this is it's a more personal thing. I said to you a couple nights ago that I wanted your advice about something.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
See, I have a difficulty with eating.
You're having a difficulty with eating.
Right. So I don't have a widely available food source. You know how it is with folks like us. So I was wondering, because I've tried other people and frankly they taste like crap. So I don't really want to pursue that if I don't have to. But you've been around longer than me. You've been in the clan longer than me. So there's got to be another way around this. If I can't get the kind of food that I need, what are my other options?
For some of us, it's easier than others. Some of the venture that I met in Japan could only feed from members of a clan that disappeared, so they struggled with the very few surviving servants after the wars centuries ago. Others could only feed from certain physical type.
But there's got to be a way around it, right? I mean, we've been alive for thousands of years. You can't tell me no one's looked into getting around this.
I have heard of people that have changed.
Right. How do I do that?
I wouldn't know. I have heard it on different contexts. For example, questions that I have asked myself. What happened with people that in the early days of the Roman Empire could only feed on subjects of the Roman Empire.
Right.
What happens when the Roman Empire is gone?
Right, this is just exactly like that.
Yeah, something that what happened that no longer anyone that is born in what it used to be the Roman Empire is viable. And apparently those people end up changing it for something similar. Citizens of the country they are originating for. People with the same phenotypical traits. People with the same bloodline.
Steps removed.
Yeah. I do not believe that we can change our feeding predilections.
So actually my choices right now are to just be hungry all the time. Or
I wouldn't necessarily say so. The thing is that if you have a very restricted feeding pool.
right, that's it. It's not easy to get a hold of. So
How specialized is it? Because we can always try to get you, as a coterie, access to Venators.
No, God, no, I don't want that. I mean, I'll have to tell them that, and I don't want to tell them. It's like, you know, I don't want to tell people what this is.
No, of course.
It's like,
It's a private thing.
especially not Rupert and his folks. I'm just wondering whether or not, if it's in the blood, maybe Joanne can do something. Maybe she can make some sort of blood test, and I can give it to people, and I can know if I can eat them. I mean, she's got to be all right with that, right?
I know what you mean.
If it's about,
I have been told many times that the things that have been lucky in my predilection, you can tell. Venture can tell. We always can.
oh, I can tell. It's just,
No,
it's not that straightforward.
perhaps, but maybe someone with a tenuous connection, someone that you would discard offhand. If you concentrate for a second, I have seen this. I have seen the child of my former dominator going about people and sizing them up. And he could tell. It is possible to do it.
All right.
I have never been able to actually tell just because. I just know what type of blood.
Maybe that's a factor of age, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Perhaps Naoto was not embraced ages ago. He was embraced at the same time I started to receive the blood, so he's probably closing in to Ancilla, but not that much.
All right. Well,
It's possible. It's possible. I again, I have not had the need because you find my preference pretty much anywhere.
it's just unsatisfying. All right. Well, thank you.
I understand.
Thank you.
So Miyuki will come back in and say, you are looking at the paints. And then we'll come in.
I just
What's your central code?
Yeah. You remove the bit of strawberry. She says, oh, how did that get there, Ken-san?
I have no idea. I hear a little peck and go like, yeah.
You got to talk about colors. I pat him on the back and leave.
And that's where we will draw the scene to a close.
So many colors.
Joanne, is there anything you're planning to do that evening that I should be aware of? Beyond, you make sure the patient is fine, but you think that part of the problem as well is that they. I mean, obviously you've got them on. You're giving them what nutrients they can, but they basically need to eat and they need to drink and things like that. But you're doing your best for them, and they're going to start regaining consciousness more and more in strength. But it's going to take time because they were so close to death. Silas. You go back to your flat, and when you go back to your flat, you notice something. There is a note that has been left, that has been pushed under your door. You open the note up, and inside the note you will read an address of what looks like a storage company. Sellotaped to the note is a key, and on the key is the number 107. It's the Yellow Box Storage Company. There's a branch here in Oxford.
Not sponsored by?
Not sponsored. Sadly. But Yellow Box Storage Company, if you're listening.
I text Theo.
You text Theo. Okay, what are you texting Theo? Theo gets a lot of texts these days.
Yeah.
Now I have a BlackBerry. Great to overcome the summer rain. I don't talk, I just text.
Okay.
Are you free this evening? Are you free a moment?
Not really. Looking at the paint, but I could make myself available. I try to write that without having Miyuki read what I'm trying to type.
Might worrisome note. Might need backup.
What note?
He said, the text says, worrisome note, might need backup.
I show it to Miyuki.
Aww.
Call the others. Worrisome means dangerous. And on my way out, I grab the katana.
As you're going, she says, what should be the message, Ken-san? Do you want them to join you, or
Yes.
where are you going?
Silas's. No, actually, I return the text headquarters. I tell her.
Yeah.
HQ.
So you will get communications from Miyuki
Okay.
that Mr. Penn would like you to go to your headquarters.
I text him back and
Obviously
say,
get that
I
text
thought
and
you
it's
were
like-
looking at paint.
Now you're gonna diss me talking to Miyuki while I'm dutifully driving, telling Silas. that
I'm
it's
on the
over.
way to the headquarters.
Okay. So are you all convening at the headquarters, effectively? Yeah, so fine. So you're all there. What do you want to do?
I show the note, show the key.
So
When
Where'd
was
you
that?
get it?
I found this when I went back to my place.
What,
Stalker?
inside the flat?
Inside my flat. I just shut under the door.
You've got a stalker.
Point of question is, could that go underneath the door with that key attached to it, or has somebody been inside your house?
No, they probably used the letterbox.
No, but it's a flat. It's got a letter. It's not a letterbox and a door, right?
So,
there is space under your door to fit it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, did you read it yet?
Yeah, I read the note. Yeah.
it is a very straightforward note. Doesn't have any name. Doesn't have anything. It's a sellotaped key. It's very clearly a message for him. I doubt it's.
You're a
mistake.
showman. It just sounds like an
Do I
overzealous
recognise-
fan to me.
Do I recognise the storage company name? Because I went to a place in Reading that was a storage company. It's not that place.
It's not that place. It's not the company that Robert Weston
Okay.
had his base in. But it's a
So-
good question.
Yeah.
So, try to dig a little bit, Joanne, on this, so she can stay here, and we can go and check.
Yeah.
Because it's either a fan of yours or something unpleasant.
The letter is why I go for backup.
It doesn't bode well before the night before an impromptu wedding. Oh, we have
Impromptu wedding?
impromptu
Oh, court.
court.
Right.
I was
I see.
remembering the card that Kevin gave me. It's like, I forgot to tell Miyuki, give this to anyone who's marrying in the company. So we're getting married. The night before an impromptu court. Any further changes is slightly worrisome. So we should go in separate cars.
Yep.
You just go on your own. Velvet and I
Yep.
will shadow you.
Which one else is going to drive?
You want to drive? I will
Not
drive.
really.
I'll drive.
Right.
Okay.
I will.
And
That way you
I
could both be in the front.
yeah. So I take this opportunity to show her how to shadow someone.
So you're going to show Velvet how to shadow
Basically,
people.
I know exactly where he's going, so even if I lose him, we'll get to the place.
Okay.
But I will try to follow him as if I were being
Okay. Sure.
sneaky. So you
That's fine.
Thank you.
So as you drive to the storage company,
Yep.
I assume you're going to go in,
Yep. Good going.
and I assume you're going to go to storage box 107.
Yes.
Are the two of you going into the building with, or are you waiting outside?
I tell Velvet to wait outside, and I go around to go into the building, and stealthing myself as much as possible.
So you're gonna try and creep in. Are you trying to be with Silas, or just kind of nearby in case he's needed? Okay,
Nearby.
fine. You can do that.
Oh, we'll stay in the car.
You stay in the car. Are you doing anything?
Texting Adam.
Just general kind of like, hey, how you doing?
Right. Has he seen anyone suspiciously following him at all today, or at any other point in time?
He will say, not today.
Okay. I mean, after that, other stuff. But
You start having a little chat.
yeah.
You'll get like a text of, what are you wearing? That kind of thing.
He is basically our getaway man who is not getting us away.
I mean, I'll make an effort, right? I'll sit in the driver's seat.
At least.
In case.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're there should you need to drive.
yeah.
Should the worst happen,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can drive. So you're nearby in case of emergency, but you're not like with Silas. You're kind of in the corridor where the where this numbered room is. So you put the key into 107. Click, it works. Nothing explodes. It's a good first start, right? So you open the door assumedly.
Yep.
And you going in?
I'm gonna look in first.
So when you look inside, obviously you can put a light on, but the light's not on.
Yep.
But you can see enough to know there is no one else in the room unless they are tucked behind the door.
Big light on.
You flick the light on, and you see there is, in the middle of the room, it looks like another note. However, the thing that catches your attention is attached to the walls of this room are photographs.
Oh,
You. In all kinds of different places. Some of you going to work, some of you going to your flat, some of you just walking down the street, some of you driving in your car. It's full of photos, years of photos. You will recognise a couple of photos of you out at various clubs. You'll see that Finn is in one of the photos. You will also see, as you're starting to look closer and closer, there are also photos of you, though these ones tend to be taken like through windows, they're not as good quality, but you having fun with various people you've picked up. Unfortunately, some of these, of course, are encounters where you have fed. They're not, again, it's not perfect, it's not like video quality or anything, but there are photos that are compromising in a Masquerade sense.
Your text. Big problem.
Okay.
And
I start approaching.
Go from there.
Wait, do I get this text?
Oh yeah, it's everyone.
I bemoan the lack of information.
Okay. So, did you say you pick up the note?
Yep, pick up the
Are you looking at the note? So the note says, be at your flat alone at midnight on Monday the 23rd of April, or these get revealed to the public.
Mitch is tittering.
Of course, I show up the moment I get.
I should say,
I should get behind him quite fast.
Silas will feel a sense of shame to see these things. Are you sure you want the rest of your coterie to see that this has happened to you? It's up to you.
So would probably be removing things.
It's full of photos. There are photos on all three of the walls. So you can start removing them, of course you can. But you know that Theodore is close.
Yep.
So okay, so if you're going ahead with that action, Theodore, you will arrive to see enough of this to make sense of it.
Can I get out of the car and make my way?
You can totally do that.
I start with it. Stop.
What?
I'm trying to understand if there is a pattern before we start taking things off the wall, but also who else is in the pictures with him. Finn? Any of us?
Yes, there will be a picture of Joanne. Looks like Silas is helping her go into a building. She looks like she's leaning on him. He's supporting her weight. And she looks... There's obviously, the way she's moving, it's like, at best, she's very drunk. At worst, she's very injured.
Do you show me the other note?
Fuck.
Send the message to the rest of the code.
So, Velvet, you will arrive about now.
Yeah, send the message to Joanne. Houston, we had a problem.
What the fuck is the problem?
Texting.
Yeah, 3 different people.
Sounds what up with this?
We'll wrap it up and go see you to give you a full explanation.
Well, fuck me, I guess, then.
Too sensitive. And I start trying to see whom else of the Intruder of Oxfordshire can be seen in the pictures.
Okay. So you're going to start perusing the pictures.
Which one? I mean, I also want to look at the pictures, but what I'm looking for is there any location that's visible in these pictures that I know well? Because what I want to try and do is figure out, if I know the location well, where this person would have been standing when they took the picture.
So this is harder for you to do because actually there aren't many locations that you know well. Silas, however, you will recognise nearly every location in these photos. So you will recognise your flat as the primary location. Most of the photos are around your home and around the studio where you were working on Bernard Warrior of the Night. Something that Velvet and Theodore will quickly clock is none of the photos are at your New Haven.
What's I would at some point try to piece which one is the closest to our haven.
You haven't withdrawn back from the world right now, right? People still think you're alive.
Yeah.
So this could just be a fan.
No, did you see the note? The note?
Well, I mean, you could be overzealous, right? But I'm saying. It's a possible outcome, right? So
Are some of the pictures like masquerade? Threats to the masquerade?
The ones of Silas, the one of Silas, there is one where you can see Silas's fangs. It is at a distance. It's not like a close-up, perfect photo, but nevertheless, it is Silas in a bedroom with his kind of head up and his fangs out as if he's about to come down.
Any of these
dramatically.
could have been taken. Any of these are taken from inside your flat.
No, none of them are taken inside your
taken
flat.
From the outside.
Yeah, and most of the ones of him in any kind of section encounter are normally taken like through the window. Often it looks like at a distance. So there are no photos taken of like the inside of your flat. There are no photos taken of there's one or two that are taken from inside the studio.
That's the studio. Shit.
But they're Bernard photos. They haven't got onto the set of Battle Shark at this point.
Okay. This should be very, very easy to get rid of if you were mortal. Fangs, you work with props and makeup, and quality of these photos is terrible.
Presumably.
But if this goes out and someone asks you to go to an interview at 8 a.m. to a network.
But this person who's asking to meet him, I mean, I don't see why we don't just make sure we're there when that happens.
I believe that the best thing you can do is... Today is...
So today's the 12th. It's Thursday the 12th of April.
Day.
And the meeting date is Monday the 23rd of April.
You will meet this person on their terms in your flat. But before that, we're going to set up a camera and a microphone. And I will be trying to case the area with Velvet and the others. So even if you are there for someone to go and see you, we will have a route of escape route.
Right.
Backup.
A route into you.
A route into you, a route for you to get out in case you need to. And most importantly, we have 11 days to plan a feasible and quick death of Silas Shaw. Because if that person is dissatisfied and wants to get all of this into the world, then you die that night.
But this is digital, right? So these are printed, but the chances are they exist somewhere with this person.
Yes, but if Silas Shaw is dead.
Right, but that still doesn't matter if they decide to go and release these photos on social media or something, because that
We
is
have
gonna make
ways
Finn
of-
lose his shit, right?
Yes, but we have ways of fighting those pictures, if that's what they have.
We need to know who this person is
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
before we just
Absolutely.
go about dispatching them.
Yeah. I'm not saying we're not looking for the pictures. I'm saying that
I
it's
agree.
easier to dispute than several eyewitnesses present in the
So, point of fact,
forensic gone wrong.
in case it ain't clear, when we go to the court tomorrow, don't mention this at all.
Don't mention
If
what.
you're asked about it, just lie. Just lie as much as you need to. And if you don't think you can lie, then just shove them in my direction. I'll do it for you. Just How did this happen, anyhow?
Do I look like I know how this happened? Someone's taking photos. Ah, for God's sake.
I mean, beyond
Set pictures from Bernard War of the Night. This person's been following you for years.
Right. So they've been careful about this. But now it's more.
And I start collecting all the pictures.
Yeah, so Silas has already collected quite a few by now, but you start collecting the others.
With him. Like, we're gonna clean the place of pictures.
I supervise the collection of pictures.
Excellent. You do a
And
good
then
job.
we get a handful of pictures. So here, take this one to the car. Get us more folders.
I do not do this. I mean, I'll collect pictures, but I'm not getting folders. What the hell?
Okay. Then collect pictures. I'll get the folders.
Okay, so between you, you clean the place out. You have all of the photos, and assuming you're going back to...
Yes.
At some point, just at any random point during this, you will get a text saying, "Do you have any wire or bolt cutters?"
Garage.
So whilst they're on their way back, what is Joanne doing? Just so I know.
So
Snapping fingers.
she realised it. She realised that probably like in her head now that was the frenzy.
Yep.
She's going to take the wire cutters,
Yeah.
just go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
look herself in the mirror,
Yeah.
let her fangs extend.
Yeah. Oh my good gravy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say that you can give yourself a point of aggravated damage.
Yep.
But you have removed them. The pain is excruciating. It is awful.
Also because they're quite long.
It takes all of your nerve to do it. However, I know that Joanne is very, very willful and very committed to these kind of things and extreme actions, so you do it. So you will get back.
Am I mentioning that to anyone? Just
Sure.
I need to have a conversation with you about where you're going to stay. There's a point here about where it's better for you to stay at your flat or at the Haven. There are no preachers here at the Haven, and we can't have them discovering this place exists. If they can't find you at your flat, then I think they might come looking for you elsewhere. Yeah. Do you think it's safe for you to stay at your flat for the next 10 days?
For tonight, you can come stay with Miyuki and myself.
I mean, if someone shows up, obviously you can deal with it, right?
Yeah. And also, no one knows about that place. It's my house. Only
Right. But
only
if
the
they're-
rest of the coterie
If they're
knows.
following him,
Yeah. No one's gonna follow us tonight. So rest assured.
Are you filling Joanne in on what you've been up to?
yes.
One's in the car. Okay. Call Joanne. Tell her nothing
What? Why am I calling her?
over the phone.
Oh, right. Sorry, we're done. I phoned Joanne. Hey.
what's the big problem?
Oh, it's better talked about in person. We're on the way back right now. But you know, I had this similar sort of text. I think we need to work on our communication skills as a coterie, because just sending messages to say there's a problem is, you know, traumatic but not helpful. So but this is just to notify you we're on the way back. Theo asked me to call you.
All right.
So you're so notified.
Hope it went well.
I mean, you're gonna hear all of the excitement when we get back. We're probably gonna need your help.
I do not like the tone of that, but okay.
How's your patient?
Next to Frankie.
No, the other patient. The
The
human guy.
patient.
The actual patient.
He's awake, alive, and confused as hell.
Oh, Christ. Great. Well, we need to sort that out then. All right. Well, I'll tell the others. It will be, however long.
So to cut a long story short, you get back to the HQ. You're all together.
I tell them the patient woke up.
And as we get there in the garage, so I do. Don't take the sword that I keep set in the car and hurl it at the wall.
Okay, you do so. It makes a very dramatic clattering noise. It sounds impressive.
And then
Was that the problem?
no. Let's go to the war room. And then I go
Stop
to
calling it that.
You go to the war room meeting room.
Right?
Yeah. So go for it.
Has the map of Oxfordshire and everything on the table. And okay, whatever. Start putting pictures on the table. Silence. And fill her in, basically. This is what has happened.
Okay.
This is the message he got. This person has clearly been doing it for a while, and we have 11 days to come up with a plan. My idea is to have him be in that meeting. I have the impression that if I were the person doing this, I would say be in your flat, and then at midnight I will send a text saying go to the river, and then I don't know, walk backwards, pee on a tree. I will start trying to see if you're being followed. So we need to have a good plan and layout, both for having a way to Silas, and Silas to have a way out, but also for him to keep mobile without us being seen.
Right.
And always having his back.
But you're pretty good at
Now in parallel, it would be very useful if we could start thinking about how to, what would be a good recourse to have Silas's shot death happen in case he needs to vanish in a way that wouldn't raise further suspicion from a crazy fandom. We have to figure out who this person is, if we can discredit them or kill them.
Joanne, it strikes me you're particularly suited to this. There's got to be some sort of medical condition that can come on unbound that causes you to, I don't know, have a heart attack and die. You got to be able to write up the coroner reports, right? He just died in his sleep.
Car crash?
No, something not obvious, like, I don't know, an embolism or something. I mean, you're the doctor, but something which meant some unknown condition that suddenly, I don't know, triggered that he didn't
Could
know.
be a known condition he never mentioned to anybody.
Right. Just so that he can have died in his sleep, and then there doesn't need to be a big hurrah about it. The police can.
If they've got these pictures of him in his flat, they're going to know more than this.
Right, but separate things, because we're going to deal with these people, but he still needs to be dead, because elsewise he's
You already made the sacrifice.
Right.
I say, looking at, you already went through the whole trouble. And I'm on my way of doing it for the, third, fourth time? I don't know. He needs to do it as well.
He does need to do it, but let's not underestimate the
No.
difficulty of doing this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we need to... Let's calm down. Let's try and think about it. We have 11 days. Tomorrow we have a court. We have a family reunion.
Right, I gotta go bring my uncle.
Oh, Seth. Nice fella.
Are you demented?
Well, the
yeah.
only time we have talked, he was curious about guns. So it was a passable conversation. Either way, I have a very stressed Miyuki back home, so I'll go back to her. But yes, tomorrow. We'll deal with that after court. Court takes precedence. This needs to be sorted.
Leave me with the pictures. I'll try and look at something.
See if you can figure out any patterns.
Yeah, this clerical work's my domain. I can try. You need to tell me what you were doing in all of these, where you were, when they were. I need to know everything. You can't leave anything out.
You guys got a night ahead of you. Right? Off I go.
Okay.
I won't leave, actually. I'll just, I don't know, go put my feet up. And
Sure.
I also stand and I look at both of them and say, can I have a moment with Joanne, please?
Sure.
When they leave.
Come on, let's get a drink.
I hope you feel... I see you slightly better. Do I notice that she's missing teeth, or...?
Well, no, because she's removed her vampiric fangs,
okay.
So no, she currently looks normal.
Are you feeling better?
A little. It's going to be a long-term project.
I misspoke. I should have asked. Do you feel more satisfied?
In ways, I don't like that I lost myself upon seeing him. I thought I'd be better than that, but...
No one does, bud. You will call me an old fool for this. But this is where I derive my strength from. I derive it from the oath we did.
I drive mine from my own sense of purpose and...
Yes, but your own sense of purpose is human. You did... You made an oath to save lives, and you had other ideas. Now that you're kindred, you shall not serve the beast. You will struggle with the struggles of immortals. Sounds high and mighty, too much blue blood, probably. Remember this, Joanne. You were a good doctor, and you still are. But as kindred, serve not the beast. You made an oath. You lost yourself. And that happens. That's why we have it on the oath. If it were easy, we wouldn't have to swear by it.
You know, despite what you think I think of you, I do respect you.
Likewise. Have a good evening.
So on that note, of course, you did serve the beast a little bit in front of your coterie. Do you have any convictions that you could bring to bear?
Monsters deserve death.
So you do.
What a good conviction!
So, Joanne.
I love Theo.
So Joanne feels no stains upon her soul whatsoever, or even any flicker of remorse whatsoever either. Even if you hadn't had the conviction. So she's fine. Silas, however, you will feel shame for having this. Now, obviously, your coterie have been very understanding about it. So it's not like lots of stains, and it's not like it's gone out in court or anything. But it is still a stain. Are there any convictions you have that could be brought to bear against this stain?
Nope.
Because if you've got anything around family or anything around friends, then of course them being in the way they have, you could try and apply it because they've responded in a very kind way. But if not, you will get a stain.
The way that one is now, I mean, you could leave it there.
Okay.
Nothing for forgetting to the liver of intruder, Denton. Nothing with that.
Well, no, because you weren't told to deliver Denton specifically by your lord.
That's good.
Denton was an intruder in your domain. So it wasn't like a Veeam thing. So whereas the business, when you were called to deal with a breach, was an order and a mission you had to deal with, this was something you just stumbled across when you came back. So you're okay. All right, so... oh yes, when you go for a drink with to take Silas for a drink, is there anything you guys want to do there?
I just really want to try and reassure him, but also, I mean, if you've got time to play.
Yeah, do it in character if you want to.
Listen, this taking yourself out of the world, it's not easy. I'm like 5 years down the road, and it's still hard every day. So I wanted to say, I sort of had time to plan it a little bit, but it just didn't pan out how I thought it would. So if you need to, if you need to unload to somebody, I understand. It's not where I thought I'd find myself, right?
It's neither. And I thought it's going to probably come out soon now, but I'll show you something.
What?
I've been working on. Into the garage.
Okay, so Silas heads off into the garage. You will smell oil and grease and horrible things that might get on your suit.
I might take my jacket off.
Okay.
I take my waistcoat off. I consider taking my shirt off.
Okay.
But I think it might convey the wrong message.
Yeah.
You went to the garage with Silas, not Adam.
Silas is a very good-looking man, I'll have you know. So Silas, you take Velvet into the garage. Over to you.
As someone has come with a sheet and and I've been working this past 10 years. It's almost complete.
What is it?
First stage, and it's a motorbike.
That is a motorbike.
Yeah, it's, I've been piecing it together piece by piece over the years, and I mean, I'm gonna have to have a different image.
A different image? How do you mean?
Well, I'm known for this.
Are you known for the bike?
No, I'm not known for the. I'm not known for the.
Well, there's your image, right?
Exactly. So that's when all this is over. That'll be the. That'll be the image. And if you look down the side there, I've got a place for the sword, the bow there, and there's seating place.
Silas, this is incredible work. I mean, it's really great. But like the next time you need a bike, just come see me and I'll buy you one. It's not you don't have to spend like 10 years getting yourself a motorcycle. There's ways we can get around this, right?
It's been fun to build it up from scratch and like.
Fun, right? Okay, yeah, sure.
Like my first, it's allowing me to keep my mind off things.
Right. But I mean, I didn't know you could do this. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I am.
It's yeah, kind of one of the first way to be in front of the coterie and surprise everyone, but it's things are going to go too quickly for that. So
you can still do that. I mean, if you want to ride the you want to ride the thing out, have a reveal, you can do that. I mean, I won't tell them.
Thank you.
Listen, whatever you got to do, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I leave and put my clothes back on.
Okay. So, anything else? Anyone else is? So one thing actually I want to mention is you go back to spend some time with Miyuki, and obviously she's showing you things to do with the house because you are currently working on a project to build a house, which Miyuki is managing.
Yes.
So it's just worth mentioning that is a project die that you started off in the downtime, and that we should put it in play for the sake of our audience, which is currently set to, I believe, 10 months or 10 on the dice.
Yes, 10 months.
And you also have a project which is growing your business, which is currently set to 6 months. So if you can set a die at 10, a die at 6, which you obviously already have because you're clever with these things. But so people watching at home, they understand that is going on in the background as we go.
I'm just texting Adam a lot, like, where are you?
He's fine, and he will also text you a lot, and he will say things like he's looking forward to the next time you're together, he's missed you, he misses everything about you, text.
Yeah.
It's lots of that. If anything, I mean, he's always, as your bond has grown deeper, he's been quite responsive, but he seems particularly responsive at the moment. Like he's very keen to see you.
Well, I'm keen to see him.
Yeah.
It's a shame you have to go to stupid court.
It is a shame you have to go to stupid.
There are back rooms in the court, right? I mean.
There are. So the court, by the way, you will know is happening at the Museum of Natural History, back where you had one of your very first courts, in fact.
A popular place.
So, has anybody got law or anything relating to the law on their skill sheet?
No.
What is this? What is that skill?
Well, it could be under academics.
No, I've got academics, but I don't have law.
I've got 3 in academics, but no law.
Tell you what, although it's not a specialty for the kind of law I'm looking for, you could make an intelligence and academics for me, and I'll give you a higher difficulty on kindred politics, Velvet, for your specialty.
What does that go with?
It will go with intelligence. I will give you an even worse difficulty if you want to roll your politics. If you've got academics, Silas, I'll let you roll. You can.
Do I just get the politics
Okay.
and the intellect, or do I add a die for the specialty?
You add a die for the specialty as well, yeah.
3.
3, yeah. And what'd you get? 2. So both of you, because you've got a lower difficulty, Joanne, and you've got a high difficulty. One thing that will occur to you is if Sally is guilty of having basically stuck her fingers up at the masquerade in her own domain and has been brought to hold her, the impromptu court might have been called for her trial. Just so you know.
Oh, excellent. Well, it'll be tidied up then by the end of the evening.
Well, now there is the issue of us giving testimony.
Well, we can do that, right?
Well, I'm hoping we don't have to.
But, I mean, what's the problem if we do? It's fine, isn't it?
No, it's
did a
absolutely,
good job.
absolutely fine.
Okay, Joanne, I want to spend a bit of time with you in the time that we have left. So first question I have for you is there anything, this patient will wake up a couple of times, not for very long, but when they do, are there any things you wish to do with them or say to them or anything I should know?
Make sure one of these two are present.
Yeah, that's easy to do. You can make everybody present if you want.
One of the talkies.
Right, see, the way we are gonna handle this, I'm gonna give a call, or I'm gonna drop by Victoria. Well, actually, probably send a message to Victoria
Yeah.
so she can help me out with this one. Because we have someone who has been told who has been given private attention, but if it's her and her people who gave this man private attention, this poor fellow, whomever he is, he now owes a favor to Victoria.
Okay.
And she takes him off of my hands, so...
Okay. So, you start making that call. Who do you want to be present when...
Probably Velvet.
Okay.
If you've got a spare lab coat.
So,
The one that I use and
okay.
doesn't ever get used now.
Okay.
So they will come to...
The one it's just in a cupboard and it doesn't get used anymore.
So they will come to...
Memento.
Yeah.
Did you say you're wearing a lab coat?
No, because there's
Oh,
a...
okay.
Yeah.
And they say, and they'll say, am I okay?
We brought you back from, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you. You were on the brink a few times. I've got...
I need to call my boss. I could get fired. And I should call my
Officer
mum.
James, do you think you could handle that?
Right, I can do that.
And I should talk to the police.
Well,
Someone attacked me.
I'm a police officer, so I can take your statement.
All right.
Yeah.
And then can I call my boss? Can you tell my boss that I was attacked so I don't get sacked?
Don't worry about it. We can do that. We just need to
Okay.
know the name of your next of kin, the name of where you work, and we'll get all of that sorted for you.
It might be related to the drug frenzy case we've been hearing around.
Right. I mean that was our thought too, but it's good to have that confirmed, Doctor. This is a very unfortunate happenstance, but it's good to see you.
I'd like to talk to my mum when this is over.
Of course. We'll get on that. Do you have an address such for her?
It's in my phone. Have you got my phone?
Assuming not.
No.
No, I think we didn't recover it from the scene of the crime.
Oh no. They look quite worried.
So,
All my numbers were on that phone.
well, let's first of all focus on getting in touch with your relatives and getting your statement.
Yeah. So he came out of nowhere and
It was a man,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Not that young, but not that old.
Right. I saw it running.
Yeah. Looked posh.
Yeah, you remember hair color, height?
Brown, I think. He was quite tall.
What sort of time of day was this?
It wasn't in the day. It was dark.
Right.
He came out of nowhere and
And you were what were you doing? Just walking along the road, or on your way somewhere? Or?
yeah. I was
It's all right.
I was just walking along the road, and he just came out and he didn't say anything. Well, he did say something. He said, "Look up." Weird thing to say to someone.
That is strange.
You know, it's weird. I looked up. I did look up.
What did you see when you looked up?
Nothing. It was dark. I mean,
Not even the moon or the stars.
Not really. It's cloudy. I just got some rain in my eye, and then I think he bit me.
Well, that is a.
He reaches up,
That,
but we'll fill bandages, of course.
that is something that we have seen some people taking this drug do. It's a slightly unusual thing, but
So you think he was on a drug?
well, that's our best guess because we've seen this kind of thing once or twice before, and it sort of it makes I don't know how this stuff works medically, but it sort of makes folks go crazy,
Yeah.
and then their behavior is just really absent from normal. It just seems like great.
So he passes out, obviously.
That is not what I expected. No. Is it likely from your treatment and from his experience that he could be misremembering this?
No, it looks like that was Denton.
Right. Well,
But in Sally's case, that's a good thing.
it is a good thing in Sally's case, but I think we will need to have this if we're going to go to court tomorrow. So, just get the others, or I'll inform the others so they've got the full picture. I mean, I'll disseminate this information so that
Sure.
everybody's got the same information in case one of us has to speak.
Okay. So you inform the others. Cool. So, the night of court will arrive. Can you all make your favourite checks in the world?
Dexterity plus medicine?
Ha ha ha. Very good.
Balls.
I'm fine.
So normally 2, okay. So Silas, you're on hunger 2, Velvet, you're on hunger 1, Joanne, you're on hunger 2, Theodore, you're on hunger 2. Now normally I would say something along the lines of, if you're just feeding for 1 hunger, that you could just do that without rolling, taking your time before court. However, this particular court, you all have meetings before court that you have to be there, that, and it's a 3-line whip. Now obviously if you decide, actually, I want to go and feed, and I'm not attending that meeting, you can absolutely do that and go down a hunger. No roll necessary until you meet your family.
Yep.
So that's
Just be
In the
going.
evening, I make sure that, well, you can probably, you can know. So, first thing when I wake up, I'm just shaving, talking to Miyuki, or having her shave me because it's a special occasion.
okay.
I get the Seth collection kit ready,
Excellent.
which is like a new suit because I don't have to be clothed when I get there.
Excellent.
So it's
Excellent.
with me.
You're thinking, oh yeah, because you probably
You
have
might be
like,
naked, I don't know.
yeah, and you have like a couple of suits,
Yeah, I've
like
done this
3 or
enough.
4 suits. You haven't done this enough times.
Yeah.
That you have like maybe like 5 suits, 3, 4, I don't know.
Yep.
All of them on his size, probably tailored, everything.
Yep.
You always take one just in case happens that you need it.
Yep.
Finn will have told you, Silas, to dress in your best. Just so's you know.
Yep.
You will, of course, be doing your normal shaving and getting ready,
And I'm
and
dressing always my best.
yeah.
I didn't have it like a picture.
Now,
Type it.
And ask if how you're doing.
Match it.
That night, before we get there, I text him and ask him how he's doing.
okay, so you get that text. How do you reply?
As well as can be expected.
Okay. So we're very nearly out of time, but before we finish, there are a few things we're going to do. So one of them is Velvet. You go to Seth's place. He's not very far from your haven because he's one of your neighbours, of course.
Hey. Such fun.
So far has not caused any major trouble as far as you can tell.
Such a good guy.
I know, he's such a decent citizen of Oxfordshire. So, you go with your extra suit.
Yeah.
Any other things you're taking?
No.
Okay. And you go to the soundproofed house, which is quite isolated. You go to the door.
Yep.
Assumedly, you ring the bell,
Yep.
because of course they won't hear if you knock on the
No.
door. And you ring the bell, and no sooner have you rung the bell than the door is yanked open very dramatically. And standing there, in a suit, somehow though making it not look that smart. You know, like the shirt looks like it's ready to come out. It hasn't come out yet, but it's on the standby. his hair is sort of tied back, but a lot of it falls loose around his face, is Seth. And he says, "Hi there, Velvet."
Hey.
He says, come on, we gotta go.
You're right. Yeah, I know that. That's why I brought the car. All right. Well,
Says, good. He says, you thinking of getting in a fight? He looks at your suit you're carrying.
oh, no. This was just in case, anything should happen between here and the court.
Ah, that's good thinking. And he pats the gun in his jacket. So it's always good to be prepared.
Right, it is. Well, we'd best get on, right?
He says, absolutely. He puts an arm around your shoulders and starts walking towards the car with you. He says, this one is going to be a lot of fun.
What, you know what's happening?
He says, oh yeah, I'll tell you all about it in the car.
That's a fucking duel.
And on that note, we will end the session. But we do need to make a remorse check for Silas.
Ah, yes.
So it's just one stain. You need one success.
I have one success.
So Silas does feel the shame, but it's tempered with the fact that for the moment it is contained and in secret.
And with friends.
And also that the fact that he feels the shame is good. Because if he didn't feel the shame, he might be like Seth, and that would be bad.
It would be middling, right?
Or middling, yeah. Good. Well, so, as normal, thank you to the wonderful players for being awesome. Special hurrah for Kirsty, our live audience.
And now since she is a tech ghoul, this week is Kirsty Appreciation Week.
Yes.
I mean, it's your turn, so she's
Yeah.
a tech ghoul.
Yeah. Although, personally speaking, I'm going to drop in an appreciation for Mitch, as he's done quite a lot of work.
Bits to our Mitchell.
But
The emotes and the thingies.
yeah, there are some really cool emote things going on.
They're still pending, so they haven't been there this week.
Okay.
Oh,
So yes, just to say, there is some very exciting emotes that are close to my heart that will be coming your way soon. And also, for those of you who follow us, or support us, I should say, on Patreon, we're not having a vote. We're having a different kind of extravaganza that you could be involved in to help with the story. So if you haven't checked our Discord lately, check it out. And if you haven't joined our Discord lately, join our Discord.
We don't know what's going on.
No.
Aside from that, thank you all very much for being with us. And we will see you next week.
Love the crest.
Bye. Oh, thank you for watching this episode of Blood on the Tamesis. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. UK time on Twitch. Or you can catch up on YouTube and our podcast. And a big thanks to our supporters on Patreon and all of you beautiful disaster ghouls. Oh, we'll see you